And we are back for another session of The Might of the Imperium, my homebrew 50 D&D campaign. I want to thank everyone who's popped by so far. We got Mystics in here with the lurk and most of the party in here with the lurk. Appreciate you guys.
Like
Let's
we're
go
being
back-to-back days of
incentivized to do
D&D.
so.
Yeah, back-to-back D&Ds. It's getting crazy up in here. So,
Yeah.
quick recap from where we left off. It's been a bit. It's been a minute since our last session. A little time off there. But what happened last game? The party, now having been divided as Toren was sent into oh wait, you're in my DM spot. There we go. 3 people. Oops. Wrong screen on the stream.
There we go.
Look at me.
we
I am the
go.
captain now.
Yeah, pretty much.
I am the DM now.
Yeah, that's how she go. You were given a job because it would be about a week, you had heard, until your compatriot would be moved to his new, or I guess old living space in the town of Tursa, along the western road through the Incendis Mountains. However, in the meantime, there was a small, say, disturbance at a nearby watering hole where travelers who are keeping off the roads tend to stop to, water their horses, rehydrate, perhaps camp out for a night. However, something has been attacking people, and no one has survived, and those that have not seen what was causing this destruction. The party, along with Ilsevere, Stanislav's brother, decided that they were going to investigate, and spent, say, about a day, I think it was, just monitoring the location, trying to size up what their quarry was going to be. As a pair of animals wandered closer to the watering hole, your quarry presented itself as it emerged from a subterranean hide that had seemingly been covered by natural debris and everything, and a massive trapdoor spider just emerged, ramming its opponent and stunning it and just latching into it and dragging it back into its hole.
You told way too many dark humor jokes before the session started.
Yep.
It's not good for me right now.
I'm still a little fucked up right now.
No, I want to make one that I can't on stream.
Nope, you don't make those on the stream. That doesn't work.
Anyway,
like
proceed.
That.
Continue with the recap to storyteller.
So, deciding they were going to try to smoke this creature out, and perhaps instead of engaging it directly in combat, chase it away and keep it at a range where it would be ineffective and unable to attack you in kind. However, as the creature emerged after its lair was set on fire quite ingeniously by our own Atin, Stanislav immediately gave pursuit on his great steed. Not only
contrary to the plan.
We were literally like, okay, these are the ranges. This is how you use a javelin. Stanislav is like, I understand.
Yep. So, not only was the plan more or less completely ignored, but in trampling this creature made it fall prone, thus making it a harder target for your ranged compatriots to hit. However, despite your horse being, let's say, evaporated and dissipated by this creature, you did manage to emerge victorious, slaying this beast, this monstrosity that had taken up residence at the watering hole.
Quite handily, if I remember correctly.
Well, if your horse hadn't been there to take the damage, it might not have been so handy, but that's life.
I mean, we brought back the legs as what I thought were trophies, and it turned out to be meat.
Yeah, it was food. I guess you can technically eat it. Yeah, it is edible. There are cultures that do it, so I'll buy it.
The Aasimar people of East, what's the place in campaign 2 where Ashley Johnson's character is from?
Jorhas?
Yes.
No, well, yeah.
From East Jorhas or whatever her tribe was. They ate bugs all the time.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's totally acceptable. So the chef, having not worked with this particular meat before, did his best, I should say.
And 6 legs.
Yeah, and there was you had a pretty decent meal of some giant spider that you had found kicking around in the desert. You were rewarded with a small amount of gold. I don't believe I added that to your guys' inventory. So you got paid 100 gold, 50 each for this particular quest. And you found
What? 100 gold 50?
No, 100 gold, which means each of us got. Actually,
50
no, each of
apiece.
us would get 33 because
Ilsevere gives up his share. He has no
Yep.
use for material possessions whatsoever.
he's stupid. I take his gold.
So 50 between all of you.
I've been taking my brother's allowance since we were kids.
Yeah, and well, you were also allowed to keep a fairly impressive magical object you find in the form of a deck of illusions. I don't know which one of you added that to your inventory, but you have one.
Not me.
Yeah, I wanted to sell it.
And it appears there are 3 cards missing. You want to sell it? You're gonna give it back, if I remember correctly.
I went to give it back and then they gave it to me and then I went money. So like next time there's a shopping episode, that's on my docket, is to sell this deck.
Okay.
Potentially, I will consult the party
I mean, that's up
before
to you.
any rash decisions are made.
Okay.
What cards?
You don't know which ones are missing, but there are 6 missing from the deck.
I'll use my excellent deductive reasoning and counting skills in order to figure that out. 1, 2,
It's 34 cards, and there's 6 missing.
4.
So 28.
6,
There you go.
10.
However, your quest complete. You all tucked in for an evening of rest and recovery. Not that any of you particularly needed it, as that was not an overly difficult fight for the lot of you. And the following morning, I believe, actually, that long rest was where we called it a night. If I'm not mistaken. So
I think so, yeah.
1 second. Here we go. Fixing the camera brightness.
Yeah, I still haven't hit the long rest button though. I think
So everyone can go
left off the
ahead
beginning of it.
and hit that long rest button. And we're going to pick up the following morning. Toren. Well, you've been kept in chains for the last few days or so since you were recaptured and haven't been privy to much information. You are aware that today is the day you will be moved. Been about a week since you were captured, and it appears your master, Ikesh, has finished his business here in Lysia and is ready to take you and the small crop of individuals that he had purchased on his trip here back to his home in Tursa. Be trained as gladiators. Showed a small amount of promise in the ring, and while bows are not commonly used by the gladiatorial folk, he sees there's an obvious use for you, and he plans to exploit that. The days have been hard, long, been bereft of food, and have suffered several times at the lashes of your master, simply for the act of escaping and not returning to where you belong. Back to the party. You know it's about 5 days until Toren is to be moved. You awake that morning. Begin preparing yourself. Start wondering if perhaps there aren't as many plans in place as you had thought. But as you gather your belongings and prepare for the day, you are summoned. What was his name? It's been so long since we played this campaign. Oh my god.
It's been a while.
I miss my paper notes, dude. I really do.
I really
Switching
feel.
to digital was the most annoying thing I had to do. It's fine, but
I understand. It's not fine, but it's fine. I understand.
Linax, that's his name. So Linax, the elven individual that Atin has become rather chummy with, not necessarily by his own plans,
Volition, yeah.
volition per se. But
Yeah.
the elf seems to have taken some kind of a liking to you, or at least there's some kind of grudging respect for your skills as an archer. And you manage to find some common ground a couple times. Rarely, but it appears from time to time.
Yep.
He appears at the doorway of the chamber. Go ahead.
Maybe he just like has a little side goal in life here to pull the stick out of your ass.
Yep. Just trying to help out, right?
It's very comfortable there. You can fuck off.
You kind of get used to it after a little while.
Yeah, you really do.
So, as you're awakening and kind of just redonning your armor, at this point, Atin, your armor is returned to you, fully repaired. Though no variants to it per se, but like you can see where the chain links were repaired in it. They're that similar kind of bronzish gold that the
Okay.
Hushroot Tribe uses. So there's just like a single strip of, I'd say about like 3, maybe 4 rings widest, like kind of just tapered, like it traces the wound essentially. Just like a small strip of golden in your armor.
It's cool.
That's all they have.
I leave it. I just look at it. I don't say anything. Make a mental note, and then I graciously take. I paid them before. I
Yeah,
left,
you're all
yes?
good. Yeah, he just essentially, it's like brought to you and left by your bunk some point
Okay.
during the evening.
Something. Okay.
So Linax just stands at the door. He's like, kind of knocks. You're all ready. I do believe the well, I do believe the general's ready for you.
Check my bow. Check my dagger that I keep on me. Let's go.
And he sees Stanislav obviously following, big golden and shiny. And he
Well,
makes
Stanislav's an early riser. He would have already been up.
just training, just pumping.
Yep.
Yeah.
Literally, I was about to say, doing push-ups like one hand,
Yeah.
3 fingers.
2 fingers,
pinkies.
1 finger. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got you. No fingers.
Staying woke.
Yeah, pretty much.
I also would have spent 10 minutes, like right after I woke up, to resummon. Akesh, the warhorse.
He cashed the war.
Mhm.
Oh, I love that so much. Fuck, you made me lose my train of thought with Ikesh. God damn it.
Well, we were just reflecting on
Yeah.
how that Stanislav is so full of hot air he could do push-ups without any hands.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm just giving you a hard time, Chris.
Lifts. So you're led outside, and in stark contrast to how the camp has been in previous days, where things were a little more lighthearted, and you saw children playing and enjoying their days, it is all business now. Even the children are helping load up and like lay out weapons for the adults and the soldiers about to leave on the excursion today. You see a number of horses being saddled and ready for combat, and just a number of soldiers of different varying races. There's a majority of elves here, but there's definitely some like different races peppered in. You see a couple half orcs similar to Toren. You see some humans, some half elves. It's a pretty diverse crowd, and everyone seems to bring their own strength to the table. You see the elves are mostly gearing up bows and ranged weaponry to prepare, and some of the orcs are just stretching and preparing for like straight up physical combat. Some of them are sharpening weapons around the fire, sharing war stories.
I actually turn over to you literally just said the guy's name. Stick up my ass, dude.
Linax.
Linax, yeah. I turned to Linax. I'm like, we actually had a concept back home that orcs would technically make more natural archers than elves.
That's just what those ones prefer. Let's just say their tribe.
I get that. However, do you understand how draw weight works? An orc would have a naturally easier time to double draw weight, therefore doubling range. Yeah, accuracy would suffer. But you get enough orcs firing far enough away, no one would ever be able to shoot back.
An interesting concept. I mean, I suppose it's what they prefer, but if we ever get a battalion of orc archers in here, I'll be sure to take that into consideration.
Yeah, I would. That's all. Let's go.
I imagine Atin is also thinking, finally, not a person having fun in sight.
Yeah, actually, like, no joke. Yeah.
As soon as I heard the kids,
I'm like, you mean they're actually doing that?
Yeah, they're not like preparing for battle themselves.
More often.
Yeah, they're not preparing for battle themselves, but they are contributing to the cause. They're handing out food, water skins, helping like the Fletcher deliver the arrows once they're made.
We don't need an Aragorn like that's good sold.
Yeah, I mean, like you do see some younger looking elves gearing up, but
they're probably 150.
Yeah, like even elves when they're in their like teen years, they look quite young, but they have a number of years of experience behind them. Yes. Anyway, you are led past the 2 statues and once again up the stairs that you have become rather familiar with. towards the camp, and you see a familiar figure once again sitting in his usual spot around a fire, but the fire has been extinguished despite what you see on the map there, and there is a table just set over the fire pit, and there's a bunch of different maps kind of spread out, a couple kind of like pinned down with daggers in the corners, some rocks holding them in place, and he's just focused, poring over them. Barely notices your approach. Grab a seat.
I'll stand, thanks.
Just for my visuals, that's on the left-hand side of the map, eh?
Yeah, right here. So the dude sitting at the fire. So Linax immediately
Yeah.
sits at the other head of the table and puts his feet just up on the table and is kind of just relaxing. You notice for the first time, no wine currently in his hand. No drink whatsoever. Small glass of water, and that's it.
I'll pull up a seat as well on the
Okay.
end there.
Atin just kind of standing over the table.
Yep.
You do notice another pair of elves kind of sitting there. Well, one's an elf, one's a half elf. Male and female. The female is the half elf, and she is as well kind of poring over things. And you notice her garb is very like, as opposed to the standard whites that they wear, it's like different shades of brown. This is very much like a camouflaged kind of look. Like this is someone who is designed to blend in with the color of the sand entirely. And I mean, the white will still do that to certain extents, but not as much as this. Yeah. And you just see a longbow strung on her back with like metal horns where the string attaches. Looks like a very powerful bow.
Nice.
Now, we know Toren is your ally, and we wanted your input on things. I think we know where your skills lie.
Okay,
We have two options.
probably more.
Two options on where we can make our move.
All right. I say
One,
both.
we... Let me finish. The first... Why is he British now? The first one is we take him on the road.
Okay.
We do that, we can utilize our cavalry
Mhm.
and set up ambush points along the route and the cliffs. That's doable. But if we do that, there's no way to avoid a pitched assault. It will be full-on combat, and I do not want slaves dying in the process. So that's something to be mindful of. Alternatively, it's a long journey, and they will make camp. One location they tend to make camp is along the road, not that far west of here. Doesn't have a name, it's more of just a small watering hole, let's say, along the path. It's fortified, but if we wait until nightfall, we may have a better chance of slipping in and avoiding a pitched battle. We have the numbers. As far as we're understanding, is traveling with a small group of soldiers. Your former master will be there as well. Or his former master, I guess. He doesn't know you guys were slaves with him, I don't think. Why is there no game audio coming through? That's weird.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, Sirenscape. I forgot about that.
You're wanting my input.
Well,
You
I recognize your...
you may regret that decision, but nonetheless, I personally only have one request. Well, that's not true. I have one important question. Do you have anyone that can pass without a trace? I only need one.
I believe that might fall into your area of expertise. The Linax kind of just nod.
Do you have any problems with unethical solutions?
Suppose that depends on the solution. What do you have in mind?
Oh, it's very simple. Two people sneak in, myself and you. We go into the barracks, leave the sentries alive. Very important. We kill half of the barracks in their sleep, leave the other half alive. Leave a note, walk out. Then we attack them the next day.
And you're hoping to achieve what with that exactly? I don't know if they have barracks per se. We've scouted out the area, and there's a small encampment. We could maybe move tent to tent.
I am sure, yes, there will be a working system of people that will be there. The point is very simple. I have a really quick question. If you woke up in the morning and your bunkmate was dead, and next to you is a feather dripped in his blood, and a note that said, "We're coming." And the only reason that you're not the one dead is because I left you there alive. What does that do?
Linux just looks at you. He's like, "Someone hurt you when you were young, didn't they?" It makes
They
sense.
hurt.
He looks
They hurt.
over. Yeah, he looks over.
I look back, I just say, they hurt me, so your slaves could live.
Yeah, he looks over at Bayas. You know, that just might work. A little messy and not exactly my area of expertise, but I can get us in there.
Good. That's all we need. And also, real quick, by the way, when you said there's pitched battle, you're wrong. It's real easy. You kill all the horses except the ones attached to carriages. You then spook the horses, make them run, isolate the actual soldiers, and chase the carriages. You've got this. You've got the slaves off on their own, and in pitched battle, they're stuck.
You're assuming the slaves will be traveling in the carriages.
That's fair. I am making that assumption.
That's a pretty bold assumption, considering usually them make them travel by foot.
It's probably wrong, but it is an option. And even if I'm wrong, you can still spook the horses so that the carriages run away, meaning they have one less resource to fight with. There's always options.
Minor problem there. This is something we've done a number of times. We've sprung.
Sure.
I mean, hell, this is the second time we've had to do this for Toren alone. Problem is, the slaves don't travel in the carriages. Maybe some of the fancier ones might. Usually they're chained to the back of it in a line of about 20.
Okay.
I don't think it's necessarily a great idea to have 20 slaves being dragged through the rock and the dirt.
That's true. So we'll scrap that then.
Line X kind of just smiles. He's like, I mean, it would look hilarious, but I'm inclined to agree.
You just see Stanislav like looking up, smiling.
If I'm being honest, if I knew all of them would survive, I'd still do it.
I can tell you the state they travel in is usually not all that good. Toren is more hardened than most. He has a better chance of surviving, I have no doubt.
Right. The goal's not just Toren, though. Understood.
Everyone we can save adds to our numbers. I'm sure you can understand that.
Appreciate it. So I maintain we hit him at night, spook him as best we can, which I think we have a pretty good chance of doing. And then when it comes time for pitched battle, they have half the troops with less than half of the morale.
All right, well, let's have a look at the maps here and see what we can come up with then.
Right.
And he pulls out the first one. He says, now this is their encampment. I only have a night version. I didn't plan to do a day one.
We're going to be hitting it at night, so.
And the positions of the guards is essentially like the patrols that they've managed to scout.
Right.
You can see them based on the dots there. Anyone hanging out in chat can kind of see the map there too. So there's one way in.
Right.
The cliffs around, right through the front, which they have guarded and barricaded. It's the only problem with hitting them there. You could, in theory, scale down the cliffs. But there are patrols that wander around there. We're not sure how often. We're unable to stay long enough to get a good glimpse, but it seems like they move at least once an hour, minimum. Probably more.
Okay.
As we understand it, he has about 8 guards. 7 guards traveling. Number of slaves. And I'll be honest with you, it's not them we're worried about. Your people.
Oh, I have some of mine there, do I?
As far as we know, they're not traveling with them, but they rarely do.
In the area.
We would assume. Usually when we hit one of these, they don't show up until, well, they have to.
All right.
They're hired to protect, and if there's no need to protect, they do not show themselves. And that's the problem. If a group of your own show up, well, sure, I don't have to tell you how much damage they can do.
Right. So we better be fast.
Fast, efficient. Problem with attacking the camp is our cavalry is useless against it.
Right.
So it will be an infiltration.
Yes.
And you'll be scaling 50-foot cliffs to get in there.
I accept those odds.
You're okay with that?
I mean, if we do a pitched battle, chances of casualties go up. With an infiltration, depending, your worst case is losing me, someone you already don't trust. All in all, I'd say that whether I succeed or I fail is a win for you.
Linax kind of pipes up for a second. You know, just wondering.
Mhm.
In that armor, you look like one of their own.
Oh, that's not happening. I appreciate the thought. I know where you're going with it.
Just a
There's
thought.
no way. I appreciate that. It's not even necessarily a matter of first off, I don't have the skill to deceive. If you want to take my armor and do it, by all means. But the minute that happens,
Cover's blown.
yeah, and there's a lot of risk to that that I don't think we need to take here. I appreciate the thought. It's actually not a terrible one. My reaction was a little more intense than it should have been.
Well, one thing we do know is they'll be keeping the slaves in the usual place. There's a number of chains built right onto the rock and cages to keep the more determined ones. It's up around the cliff, and he kind of gestures to it on the map. And it's like, to get to it, you literally have to go up the cliff and loop around.
Mhm.
So if I'm to understand this right, your goal is not to free Toren this evening, or on your first incursion. The goal is to spread fear.
If you, how do I put this? It is always best to take the most resources with the least amount of your own. And if all we're doing is throwing resources at each other, both expend everything. Never do that if you don't have to. We don't have to. If they turn around, then we give chase, cut them off before they get to reinforcements, and then take them out when they have half the numbers. If they proceed on, we catch them further away from any resources and ultimately have even better chances in a pitched battle. If I fail completely and don't kill a single guard, the only thing that's been lost is myself.
All right. I'm okay with that.
So if you're just going to walk in there alone?
No, I need someone with Pass Without a Trace. I'm good at stealth, but I like the odds better.
I've got you covered.
I appreciate that. Don't worry, you can run. If things get hairy, I'll kick up a fuss. I'd rather you be back with your people.
Well, let's just say I have my own motivations to save one of the group.
Understood.
I won't be running.
As a quick reminder, the goal tonight is not to remove any slaves.
Aware.
Understood. That being said, I do plan on, if I can swing by, if we have the time, I'd like to leave Toren, and I flip my triple knife and catch it by the hilt.
Mhm.
A parting gift.
Seems reasonable to me.
Understood. Well,
So,
then.
in that case, we'll have our cavalry stationed at the entrance to the road, far away from their camp, so if they try to flee back to Lysia, we'll be able to cut them off and hold them there long enough for our troops to move in from the cliffs.
Right, which reminds me, and I'm going to pull out 3 different types of noise arrows. I'm going to fire each one off, and I'm just going to be like, this one is if we get caught as a
Okay.
signal. Just, that doesn't mean come in. That just lets you know the op was a failure. The other one is they're running. Like,
Well, I'll be honest, we're not willing to lose you or Linax here, so if we hear that arrow, we're going to unleash hell.
understood. This one just signals that they are routed, that someone got caught. They're shaking up and they're moving. They're on the move. And this one, I actually didn't have a thing for the third sound, but yeah, I'll just different sounds. And I'll
Sounds
give
more like a sparrow.
right.
It's like a pigeon.
Yeah. This is
This
one-
metagaming
I
arrow.
was gonna say this is I refer to as the metagaming arrow. It contains all the information we could possibly need. Yeah.
There's 13 guys here.
And I'll give one of each to Linax as well. And yeah, I'll just that way we have an established system.
Now, we have a plan for the camp.
Yeah.
We'll make sure they can't escape out the way they came in, and our forces will hold the spot in the road further up that we were going to hit them anyway.
Right.
If we hear that arrow, tell you what, we'll keep a detachment by the camp. That arrow goes off, they'll back you up until we can get there.
I should be part of that detachment, I think.
I mean, if you're gonna do it anyway, possibly, but we need to maintain as much stealth as possible. That detachment needs to be small and able to avoid attention. And yeah, basically, that's the important bit.
4 my men, you're shiny fella. Should be plenty.
On the condition, and this is not you, and I look Stanislav dead in the eye.
The 4 of them will be sneaky.
I appreciate that. I look Stanislav in the eye. I'm like, the priority here is Toren. The priority is stealth. Glory comes later. I promise you will get it, but I need you to wait.
You don't have to worry about that. The main reason I want to be close is because I also have a spell that can help you be sneakier.
I mean, I'll take it.
All right.
AKA enhance ability.
Now, yeah,
Part
as
2.
yes, the second part, which is important.
All right, so I pulled up the map here, and again,
Yep.
ignore the little minis. That's just essentially
Yep.
how people tend to travel through this part.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
So our plan was to hold them here, launch our
Right.
ambush, have the cavalry sweep in, a couple of them try to free the prisoners, and clear up anyone down there. Any of their reinforcements appear on the cliffs on the other side, we deal with it from where we are on the high ground. This is the best place to stage the ambush. There's lots of cover, reasonable height. Be able to see any reinforcements coming up that road a mile away.
Right. How many people can fit in those carriages?
As far as we know, about 6 tops.
Understood.
They're built for comfort, not moving troops. If my understanding is correct, Toren's new master will be riding in one of them. Not sure who's in the other. But if they weren't in a carriage, I imagine they have some kind of position in society.
Might I recommend we leave them alive? I think we might be able to have some fun with this.
I feel like Toren's going to have some unfinished business to deal with.
Yeah, I may have to ask him to come off of that, which leads me to my next question. Toren's master, does he have any particular slave rivals?
How do you mean?
Well, I'd like to have this operation go off and have it so that when the Empire takes a look, they're not looking at the Hushroot. They're not looking Hushroot. Sorry, they're not looking at the Hushroot. They're looking at one of their own. Think about it: a slave rival who really hates and then
Problem with that? We want
and
them
then
to
attacks
hate us.
so that they can steal the slaves. Well, then that's less fun. But I'll work with that.
Well, you have your little fear games, we have ours. Every time we make a move against them, we make sure they know it was us.
All right.
Not a bad idea.
I would argue that every once in a while, turning the house against itself is more beneficial than have the house focus on what's outside.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Oh, I'm shit at those. Okay, my charisma is 0. So persuasion. Better than I thought.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
How do you propose we go about making this look like a rival operation?
Oh, I mean, it's very simple. When my friend, my partner here, and I head into the camp, we make sure on at least one tent in blood to leave the mark of the rival. And then again on one, we take one of the 2 carriages, and the other one, same thing, in blood, we leave the mark. Even if they don't believe it, the Empire can't ignore it.
If we're going to do that, we need to make sure we don't leave any arrowheads behind, and any bodies that get dropped on our side need to...
Oh, no, that's actually not necessary. Think about it like this. If you're in the Empire and you did want to steal your opponent's slaves, who better to outsource than the Hushroot? If you can't hire, and I tap my armor, who do you get instead? It's 2 birds, 1 stone.
I like it. Now, when we launch our attack on the caravan, where will
Right.
you? Our cavalry will ride in from the east. We'll hold
Right.
them from the west.
Well, I was hoping that I would have a vantage point further away, but it doesn't look like I will have that.
I mean, pretty big map.
It is a big map.
And it's all like valley, and then each tier is about 20 to 30 feet up. So if you're up here, you're almost 100 feet in the air.
Oh, then
They're very, very high cliffs. This is like a mountain range with a canyon just weaving through the middle
actually, I'll be, in theory, I'll be about 500 feet. Well, how far is the range? Now I have to double check what my range on a longbow
of
is.
it. It's like 600 feet. You have to be
It's-
on the battle map somewhere. That's my
Do
only
I,
rule.
though?
Yes,
Do
that's my
I,
rule.
though?
I worked hard
But
on
that's
this.
not what the weapon says.
I don't give a
My,
fuck.
my brother and I should be the ones to take down Ikesh. If he's there,
I'll
we
be
That
stand
would
better.
put you in the cavalry then.
100 feet in the air.
Thank you.
I
I mean,
Stand
you
better.
could be 600 feet away, but you'd have no sight lines at that point.
Well, 500 feet behind, because you said we could see reinforcements for a mile. If I can see reinforcements for a mile, the reinforcements see me. If reinforcements see me, I can see the caravan.
Technically, I guess. No, because
Yeah.
like after that curve is where the road goes
But-
straight west. So you can see things coming up that way, not from the
Okay.
east.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
And
right,
there's
all
like
right.
mountains and messes between all of that shit.
All right, I'll be 100 feet up.
There you go. So the two of you and your brother riding cavalry. Your brother is quite gifted. He's good at bringing peace to people who need it.
So I said a gift.
Il Severe. And you notice Il Severe has just been standing here the whole time. Just
Mhm.
this whole time. Yes. What can I do for you? Now, your job is simple. You see to the slaves, you protect them if you can, and if there's anyone in dire need of help, you help them. Same goes for you, Shiny One. I've seen you work.
All right, I can do that.
Might I pose one final request? And this one is a request. It's not tactically advantageous. It's not even helpful per se. It's just a request. Whoever's in charge of organizing that troop, I'd like to take them alive, if possible.
I imagine it's just a standard guard captain, so we'll
Right.
do our best.
Appreciate it.
At which point he stands, having made your plans, he kind of stands at the cliff top overlooking now like all the different soldiers who are getting ready. And
Mhm.
looking out, you see probably a good 50, 60 people readying themselves for battle here.
Who are the youngest?
Couple of like younger looking elves, there's a young dwarf, couple young humans, and that's like the youngest would probably be 16, 17 years old.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
Yeah, and even like a couple of them are traveling less as combatants, but like carrying gear for people. So there's like
Right.
the youngest of them, who's probably about 15, is just carrying bundles of arrows, and he's going to be just distributing ammo to archers who need it.
Gotcha.
There's some like younger ones that are there to help with wounded if it ever arises, but not. You don't see anyone under the age of, I'd say, 16 or 17 prepared
Gotcha.
for combat.
So on the third, I'll actually take the third arrow, and I said that I didn't have a thing for it. I'm just going to say, and I'm going to distribute a handful to whoever's in charge.
Mhm.
And I'll have to make some up, but whatever. I'll just roll a die. And basically, I'm just going to say, if we see reinforcements coming in, we pull it. So it's just a general warning, so that we're not yelling reinforcements. It's just, we'll know.
So Bias stands and begins addressing the people here. All right, so you all know your jobs. Cavalry, the shiny one and his brother are going to be riding with you. I don't know how good on horseback the shiny one is, but I imagine he's doing all right.
I just mentally call for Ikesh to
Your
come on
job
over.
when we attack in the morning, or in a morning a week from now, whatever. Get around the slaves, clear out anyone near them, protect them if you can, and rush through there like a bat out of hell. Crush anyone who stands in your way, but if I see a single slave fall under your hooves, you will pay for it. Archers, same goes for you. I don't want any stray arrows. Make every shot count. And you see people just kind of nodding. No one speaks up. Linax just kind of gets himself ready, checks his bow out, makes sure everything's in working order, gives it a little flex. Well, I guess we better find our team then. So for the night raid, he's just going to gather who he thinks would be good. You see like a couple humans, female elf, male elf, all appear to be either like ranger, rogue, persuasion, definitely sneaky, and then Stanislav is standing there, just all bright and shiny and awesome and ready to go.
I've put my like desert garb on and I've like covered everything up nice and good.
Okay. So people begin making their way out. The cavalry exits to the south and begins to go prepare to cut off the retreat should they decide to run from the camp in the middle of the night or in the morning when the bodies are discovered. The other bulk of the force, along with the 5 of you, I guess 6 of you total.
Are any of them on horseback?
None of your people. None of this is all foot going north.
Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna bring Ikesh.
Okay, I figured. No worries. And they all head northward out of the camp, following the winding road that leads to the north that you haven't actually got a chance to take yet. Essentially, these split and both kind of go winding through the mountains, and it's about 2 days travel to get to where you need to go, weaving through this route. You know you have 5 days until Toren arrives, so we're just going to time jump that because you're being led by people who know these mountains very well.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna break off the day before and specifically bring 3 noise arrows with me and just fire them off on my, like, I'm away from the main group and just 1, 2, 3.
Okay. So they can hear them.
And no, I'm specifically trying to see if anyone from my old persuasion picks up on it.
Ooh, okay. Oh, that's tough.
They may not. It's if they don't or they decide not to respond, that is an acceptable outcome. Just wants to see.
Roll me an arrow persuasion check, I guess. We're communicating with arrows now, so may as well lean into it.
Yeah, I mean, fair. So persuasion once again. Yeah, no.
You hear no response. Your arrow just or whatever sound it makes off into the brightly lit desert sky.
Yeah.
And you see like the beams of light kind of cutting through the peaks in the mountains, illuminating certain parts of your passage, and other parts being in shadow. So we're just gonna do a little time jump here to move things right along. So you travel for the 2 days. Go ahead.
I imagine one of the arrows sounds like a stuka.
You travel for about 2 days, finding your place in the camp. You know the cavalry is camped somewhere in the mountains south of you or southeast of you. You can see the other force split off from where the 5 or 7 of you, I guess it's 5 people, and then the Linax and Atin. So the 7 of you split off a different direction, be kind of just winding up a path that leads circular around a mountain. And you see the other bulk of the force kind of disappearing beneath one of the mesas around as they kind of just round a bend. And you trust that they are going to do what they need to do and will have backup ready should you require it. Go ahead, Chris.
I'm just gonna say on the way, I'm gonna need to go back down to be part of the cavalry after you go in. So I guess I'll just split off after that and go back down.
Yeah,
to
like
the main force.
you have all night to go back down and deal with that.
Yeah, just right before you go in, I need to cast a spell on you.
So, Toren, we're gonna time jump. So we're now to the day Toren is being moved. You have all set up camp. You are all preparing, getting yourself ready. If there's any battle preparations you would like to make, let me know after I finish with Toren here. It's been a week. You're ready to move. Once again, the collar about your neck is just digging into the skin a little bit, kind of starting to get a little rash. It's like friction burns from it. And you and a number of the recently purchased individuals that have been kept prisoner here at the local dungeon here in Lysia are all chained together by the hands and feet.
Like
Enough
hands chained like this.
Hands chained like this. Essentially, you get like it goes around the waist like a metal belt, and then your wrists are chained to it and your feet are chained to it. You can still walk, but it's not comfortable, and like
kind of like a prisoner on death row.
Pretty much, yeah, like essentially, but like a little looser so you can have full range of movement. They don't want you guys holding up the train. And you're all linked, about 20 of you together, by a single chain running to which you are all attached. And you're led out of the prisons, and right here in the courtyard, I'm not going to bother switching to the map. You are attached to the back of a carriage. You're about halfway down the middle of the line on the right-hand side. Say about 9 or 10 people in. And as you're fastened, you see, for the first time since you were recaptured, your former and now current master, Ikesh, emerge, just looking almost regal, but you know when someone buys clothes that like look like have the appearance of wealth, but maybe not as much as like kind of knockoffy? Like you can see it's supposed to look finely tailored, but there's issues in the details that would not be there if he had paid more.
If you get a close look at it, you can tell it's not.
Yeah,
like
he's wearing a fake Gucci belt.
Yeah, exactly. He has money, just not as much. Like he tries to appear like he has more than he has. He wants to appear more powerful, and he just looks at you with pure disdain. He remembers you having been in his staring
back with hatred in my eyes.
I'd be very careful who you look at, like friend. He just nods to the guard, who immediately just cracks a whip across your back.
Is he close to me?
Probably 15, 20 feet away. He's not stupid enough to get close to you.
I'll look at him, and one of these days, I'm going to have a whip of my own.
Doubt it. He just turns, completely ignoring you at this point, going into the first carriage of the two that are lined up there. The one in front of you mostly just has a number of guards sitting in it and on it. And one archer kind of just sitting on top, like just kind of doing overwatch from the top of that carriage. And then Ikesh enters the one ahead of you with another fairly noble looking individual. You're not sure who this person is. You've never seen them before, but you can tell they are clad in the traditional robes of the Magus Imperium. So this is some kind of member of high society, maybe on a council somewhere. You're not quite sure. Definitely appears to have more wealth than Ikesh. These are properly tailored robes that fit him perfectly. Without further ado, you are started on your way. The carriages begin rolling, pulled by the 2 horses at the front of each of them. And you're just kind of being partially dragged along and walking on your own accord at the same time. Every now and again, you'll like kind of slow just as the exhaustion sets in, and then you just get yanked back forward and continue on your way. A number of individuals do fall in this process, being weakened from weeks of essentially starvation. They're not used to hard living like you are. These are all people new to chains. And the whips fall on their backs, same as it did on yours, and somehow they manage to gather the strength to continue on and continue to their destination. You travel for a number of days across the Ember Steppe and up the road that leads into the mountain. It takes you about a day and a half to get there. At which points you enter the mountains and are weaved through these long serpentine-like canyons where this road travels through, kind of just weaving and winding its way through the Incendis mountain range as it begins to turn westward. I'd like you to roll me a perception check, please.
14.
Okay. Boom. 14. All right. So you manage to see, as you're kind of looking out, just keeping an eye out, you know that your tribe operates in this region. If there is going to be a rescue, it would be somewhere around here. So you're just remaining vigilant, and you just see a small amount of dust kind of floating through the air behind one of the mountains further off in the distance. It appears like something's moving there. It doesn't appear that anyone else in your group notices it, but you do see a little bit of dust trailing on the wind from behind some of the mountains.
Just have a half-cock smile.
No one notices it as you continue, eventually making your way to a bend in the road where you approach and see a number of barricades set up towards what appears to be an entrance of a small, like, enclave, like kind of area cut out of the rock that appears to be somewhat natural. The carts both stop and are kind of parked to block the entrance, and the group of you are led inward up a flight of rickety wooden stairs around a cliff and all brought here. You, being a little more temperamental, are placed within a cage, along with a number of larger members of your group. Cage is locked, and your chains remain attached, though you're no longer attached to the rest of the group by the long chain in the middle, obviously, as you're inside the cage. You begin to tuck in for an unrestful night of sleep on the hard, cold desert ground. At that point, we're going to take our break. Because shit's about to hit the fan pretty big here, and it's probably going to run for a little bit, so I'd like to get a quick, 10 minutes in right now. Thank you, JT, for the raid. I appreciate it. Thank you, Kerbo, for swinging by. Sorry, we're taking the break right now. Just going to get this done so we can move on to some pretty intense combat stuff. So we'll be back in about 10 minutes. Thanks, everyone who's swung by so far. Yep.
I would have told my horse to just go with, the main group, and
got it.
Whoever wants to ride him can.
He's just hitched up.
Okay.
They like their small. They have much smaller horses that they're much more used to riding. So anyway, we're gonna hit our break. We'll be back in 10, folks. See you in a bit. And we're back while we wait for Toren to close his window because he is freezing.
Yeah.
Here, I'll do the eyebrow wave.
There you go. So, I want to thank everyone who's tuned in so far. Thank you for the lurk, Tugboat. Appreciate you being here. Haven't been streaming much lately, so appreciate you coming in. Yesterday was our first day back in a little bit, and we're planning on kicking back to the normal schedule pretty soon here. So this is our second night of D&D in a row. I had a lot of DMing work to do, and cut a few corners.
Pretty sick, though.
I made these maps an hour before this game started because I procrastinated.
We talked about it this morning. I love it.
Yeah. I went for sushi lunch with my dad.
Oh, yes.
And then I just food comaed all afternoon. I slept from 1 until 5, dude. It wasn't even a nap. That was a sleep.
I love it.
It was magical. I loved every second of it. I got my dew of the mountain.
Dew of the mountain.
I got my coffee. I'm all excited.
These guys.
Hashtag not sponsored.
All right, so we're gonna hop back in. So we have now made it to our destination. We are planning a stealth incursion into the camp. So, Atin, while you and your group, we gotta hydrate from Crispy.
Everyone
Thanks.
do it.
Everyone hydrate, same time. Spend those points. Spend all those points.
My coffee's hot, so I can't.
I could only
drink that hot coffee. Don't be a bitch. No, it's fine. Yeah, no, it's fine.
I can only do that about 30 more times.
30 more? That's it? That's it?
Anyways, moving on.
All right. So we got a few viewers popping in. I want to thank everyone again for being here. You guys are the best. In the meantime, you all watched as Toren's convoy made its way in here from atop your perch far in the Incendis Mountains, overlooking this encampment below, and you wait and wait until the sun finally falls beyond the western horizon. Night has fallen on the Ember Steppe. I guess the Incendis Mountains, but whatever. It's all the same. It's all the same. What is lore? What do I write? It's all bullshit.
Yeah.
So, what you will see from observing... Actually, you know what? Roll me a perception check, anyone who wants to.
I'm good at those.
So
Sure.
I rolled a nat 20 for Linux.
Am I allowed to?
Sure, dude. Absolutely.
From inside my cell.
24.
Okay.
Oh, well, I definitely can roll higher than that, totally.
Absolutely. So, a lot of high rolls there, guys. That's good. So
Yeah,
between
11's super high.
I was thinking more of Atin, myself, and Toren. So Atin, between you and Linax, you managed to pick out the patrol schedule, more or less. You see there is 2 archers stationed above the entrance to the camp, 2 armed guardsmen, one kind of patrolling around the middle, what appears to be the captain, kind of just sitting by a fire, currently in front of his tent.
And
Not
I'm picking
quite-
out my nose.
Yeah, Stanislav's just sitting there, looking at your golden bogies. I just assume everything else is golden about you, so...
Everything that comes out of him is golden too.
That's gross. That's gross. Just a
That
glitter
just came
bomb.
out. I didn't even mean to say that.
It's just a glitter
My
bomb.
turds
at this point.
belong in the Smithsonian.
I mean,
All right, we're going there. And then the only active patrol that worries you is this dude stationed here with the purple dot, who essentially like wanders from this archer to this archer and back about once every 20
Am I the only one
minutes or
who's
so.
still on the caravan? Oh, wait, no, we are on the caravan line. I don't know why I was thinking we were supposed to be on the camp. Never mind. Ignore me.
Oh, wait, you're on the caravan map?
I am. Maybe that's.
You're good now. That's my
Okay.
bad. So yeah, this purple guy is the only one that gives you concern, essentially, because he about every 15-20 minutes or so he does a loop, just going around the top of the camp, going between the 2 archers and checking in.
Okay.
Other than that, there is not active movement. The guards are kind of stationary. You do see a number of people like also traveling with them who appear to be like sleeping or going into tents to fall asleep for the evening.
Mhm.
And the camp seems to be quieting down. A number of the captive slaves are asleep already, kind of just accepting and enjoying any chance they have to get some rest.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, one of the last ones to go to sleep.
Oh yeah, and Toren, you rolled 19. So I'm gonna say, like, with your perception, you hard to tell. You don't see anything, but you can
Feel something on the wind.
kind of, in a weird way. It's like your not. It's like your connection to the Fae is kind of granting you increased perception in this time, and you just there's something different on the wind tonight.
Just caught
Something
my
is
musk.
standing out. Yeah, you just caught like the scent of Stanislav on
I'll
the
just
wind.
close my eyes and just.
I close my eyes and I can see.
I fart in his. I'm gonna fart. Can I fart in his general direction?
Yeah. Roll a ranged attack for fart. No, don't do it. I'm disallowing it as we speak.
And then I'll
So-
use thaumaturgy to make the fart go over to his.
Just drift over. No, we
Little
do not.
drifting.
We can communicate with arrows, smoke signals, but fart signals are off the table, guys. For real. For real.
Yeah,
There's
the
the,
smartest
there's
thing
the
I've ever
line.
come
We
up
found the line.
Yeah.
How would you all like to proceed? Toren, you get to sit in your cage.
Yeah. I'll wait.
You get to chill.
It's a big task, Toren. Not everyone can do it. I want you to know how lucky
I
you
gotta,
are.
I gotta hold down the fort.
All right. Yeah, I mean, once it's night, I'm just gonna check all of my gear and get ready to scale a cliff.
You do see the captain go into his tent
All right.
about 30 minutes into your observation.
While I'm
time.
watching, I am writing, or I've written a note that I'm going to leave somewhere in the camp, and it's just going to say, those of you that have survived. How do I want to word this? Those who are left. Can still be spared.
Roll me an intimidation check.
I think you should write something like those who I've left alive.
Oh, they'll know.
Okay.
Assessed.
14. Noted. We'll see how that goes.
Well, I mean, I'm not leaving it unless I actually get out.
If you are successful, yes.
Yeah.
So, the two of you, Linax and yourself, the Elven Ranger. You make your way to the edge of the cliff, looking down. It's about a 50, 60-foot climb.
Hold on,
And
before
would
you're ready to
be
go.
up here, probably. So you'd have to scale down this cliff, and get to that platform.
Right before you go, I'm going to cast Enhanceability on you for Cat's Grace. So you don't take fall damage from 20 feet or less.
Ooh,
Okay.
that's handy.
Yeah, that is helpful.
And you have advantage on any dexterity-based check.
There you go.
Stealth,
Okay.
acrobatics,
Okay.
all that fun shit. Super
Right.
useful for right now.
So as you're at the edge of the cliff, you see Lynax just move his hands and prepare his spell. Cast it, and there's just a faint aura of green, kind of arcane, natural energy that just dissipates quickly. And
Okay.
he has cast without a trace. So you get +10 to all your stealth checks.
Rolls. Yep.
He looks at you. That should do it. Can't guarantee this is going to go well. Should help.
As long as we don't get seen, this should go quietly.
It's the goal. What would you like me to do? Am I assisting you in your incursion, or am I keeping watch?
Well, if we're both focused on killing people, we won't see the guy coming from behind, so look out, you.
Perhaps I stay on the higher cliff and keep an eye out from above.
Well, normally I'd say yes, that actually sounds perfect, except pass without a trace has a radius and it doesn't work otherwise. The reason I know this is because that was relatively common for father to do. I should say father. Ugh, you would call it father. Ugh.
All right. Okay, well, I'll follow you and keep an eye out.
All right. Well, first things first, and I look at the cliff. Let's get this party started. And then I'll use my help action to help them scale down the cliff as a bonus action.
Yeah. So they are going to pull out some about 50 feet of hemp rope, find
Yep.
a decent sized rock near the edge of the cliff to tie it off on.
Yep.
He looks over at Stanislav. Hey, big man. You mind holding on to this in case, my knots
Not at
aren't what
all.
they used to be? Thank you.
Problem.
Don't drop us, please. And he kind of holds the rope out to Atin, offering you to go first.
Let's go. And
Can I hold my channel divinity in case shit goes wrong? I can hold twice the weight, like just on command. But if it's fine, I don't want to waste it.
Sure. Yeah, I'll allow that.
Okay, cool.
So I need Atin, make me an athletics check at advantage. Or acrobatics, I'd say, if you want to do this acrobatic.
acrobatics is
not the
a
D12.
thing
Okay.
I can actually do.
You rolled
And
a 16,
you
so
gave
he's
me
good.
Cat's Grace, right? So I have advantage on that as well. Oh, never mind.
Yes.
It's 23.
You're also
Yeah.
advantaged because you have the rope, so you're fine. Between the two of
Okay.
you. You both
Yeah.
do manage to get down. I also need stealth checks, which for you are
Okay.
at advantage.
And then an additional +10. So
Yeah, so well over 30
Yeah.
for Linux. The two of you, Stanislav, you watch them as they both grip the rope and just begin sliding down, and as you look, they just disappear into shadow.
My armor, just the black on the night, just absolutely just
Mhm.
dark.
Completely fades into shadow. You do not see you do not see either of them as they venture down on the cliff. So you're now standing about here. You can see at this point this guard is beginning to make his round back towards this way and loop around. So the two of you kind of sneak down behind a rock and wait for him to make his pass. He's walking slowly, keeping an eye on things, being very observant. And it takes him about probably 5 minutes to get all the way around the loop. He's taking his time. He stops at certain intervals and looks out over the camp, checks up on the cliffs above, make sure there's no one trying to, infiltrate the camp.
You're saying I'm right about
Yeah, you
Okay.
guys would be right about there. And he's going to make his way. I'm going to grab a figure for Lynax real quick. Elf. Let's just find ourselves an elf, shall we?
That's how I do
As soon
it
as
too.
they're down, by the way, I'm gonna leave and go back to the main convoy.
Are you waiting in case shit goes awry?
Me? Was
Yeah.
No,
that-
in
No.
case we fell and he needed to hold us up.
I
was-
thought the
yeah.
5 of you were waiting there in case shit... You're the backup in case shit goes wrong in the camp.
Yeah, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
did.
And then you have
We
the
didn't
rest
want
of the night to get around, or rest of the night to get around back to the group if you need to. All right, I'm just going to
Okay,
put this,
yeah,
this
I'll
Elven
stay
Ranger
there.
right here.
That's right.
Oop, there you go. All right, we got our guy down. So you're going to need to scale this one too. It's only about 15 feet.
I mean, I have Cat's Grace. I'll just.
He can literally just jump.
All right, Lineaxe is just gonna roll.
No, I'm kidding. I'll use the rope and I'll let Lineaxe down and then I'll jump.
So are you
after.
saying I'm like up
So
here?
I'll same thing. Bonus action help.
Yeah, so you're helping him. So he rolls a 16 plus whatever his acrobatics is. He's fine.
Yeah.
He just kind of slowly makes his way down. Your stealth rolls still hold up, which I believe was like well over 30 for both of you.
Yeah.
And he kind of watches, looks out over the camp as you make your way down. He has an arrow nocked and ready, but not drawn, just in case he needs it.
Yeah.
He's kind of holding it with one hand while he moves. The two of you are now successfully infiltrated into the camp. How would you like to proceed? You see a tent here, a number of tents in the lower level, and then 5 tents up top. You do see the slaves or the prisoners currently tied up and chained together, sleeping mostly.
There's a tent right here. I mean, there's no point in dropping down a level and working our way up, so I will stealthily make my way into that tent.
Okay.
And look for anyone asleep.
So there's about 20 people chained up there, probably about 6 in the cages. So you're dealing with about 14 people sleeping on the ground. You're going to have to walk around.
They're all slaves or guards?
Slaves.
Okay, do I see Toren among them?
I was about to ask.
Roll me a perception check, please.
Also,
More
since
than
I'm
likely,
like up there,
but-
should I be rolling stealth check to hide?
No, you're far enough away they couldn't see you.
Oh,
They wanted
plus
to.
8, and I still only get a 12. All right.
Well, he's not hiding.
Okay.
So yes,
Fair.
you 100% see him. Stanislav,
I
from your
rolled
angle too.
19.
It's hard to make out clearly from where you are because they're in pitch darkness and your dark vision only goes so far.
Mhm.
But you do see a figure, kind of a shadow, or kind of just a blurred figure in the distance in one of the cages that looks oddly similar to Toren's body shape. You're gonna make your way to this tent over here.
Yeah, I'm gonna make the way
There's
to the
that
tent.
skinny fuck.
Are there any guards inside?
Yes.
Preferably asleep.
So you see one bed. In it,
Okay.
there is a man sleeping.
Mhm.
You see armor hanging on the chair next to the bed, kind of just like on the back of it in place, ready to be slipped on. And it is familiar. You've seen this armor recently, no more than a week ago. As you were chased from the city of Lysia, it appears to be the slave hunter captain that was sent to track you all down in the first place. You never got a name, but you recognize the face even now, peaceful at sleep.
Okay. Is this the captain of the entire outfit?
No.
Okay.
This is the man who was specifically sent to recapture you, Toren, or Toren and Stanislav. I guess just Stanislav. Toren was already captured. You saw him fighting on the way out of the city, and you know how much damage this man can do with his whip.
Yeah.
He's very kinky.
He'll be the first one. So it's just gonna be, I'll signal, hand signal, watch outside. I'll step inside, and in the same movement, one hand over the mouth, the other one dagger, not slice, directly down.
Okay, so Lineaxe is going to stay where he is, kind of out of the torchlight on this arch, and keep an eye on you from the tent. Mostly watching this guard here, who does not see you. So I'm going to have you roll an attack at advantage, just to see how true your blade strikes.
Okay, I should have added that dagger to my inventory. That's a 17 plus 7, so 24.
Yeah, that hits. And as he's a sleeping target, completely defenseless, unarmored, doesn't even see it coming, you put your hand over his eyes open in shock, and you just drive the knife straight through the base of the chin and right into the spinal column in the back of the head, and his eyes just kind of, and you see just a small trickle of blood drip out of his mouth as he tries to gargle his last breath.
Yep, pull out the dagger. I should have brought feathers with me, which I didn't declare. I talked about them in the
you said you were going to bring some. I'll allow it.
Sure, and I'll just take a feather. Very Assassin's Creed #1.
Oh God.
Nice.
That takes me back.
Yeah. And wipe it off, and I just lay the feather down on his neck, soaked in his own blood, and I leave. I take a quick glance around the room. Is there a dagger in here?
Yeah, there's one in that dude's fucking brain.
Yeah, there's one in that dude's throat.
Other than mine, is there a dagger in the room that's not mine?
Yeah, several.
Okay,
There's this man's weapons. There's daggers. There's a whip.
yeah, I grab a dagger quietly, just. And then I want to slink. I want to keep an eye. I want to make sure that guard over here hasn't been alerted. I'm assuming
Nope,
he has.
nope. The guy didn't even get to make a peep,
Okay.
dude.
So I'm
There's
just
a
gonna
faint
slip
gargling
out.
sound. That's about
I'm
it.
gonna make my way over to Toren's cell, and I want to leave my dagger there.
Would I have seen him go by?
I had a 34 in stealth. You didn't see shit.
No. No, you didn't. Just shadow. You're distracted. You're trying to keep an eye up in the hills, trying to see if your tribe's gonna come rescue you. You don't even notice this guy slink by.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna put down the dagger.
Yep.
Try not to make any noise.
Now do I see him?
How close to the cage are you getting?
I can't toss a dagger. Well, like actually,
you could,
I could,
but like clink,
but
clink,
that's
clank.
gonna create noise. So it's just gonna be walk up as stealthily as possible and just leave the dagger.
Okay. So you see him at this point. Like he's approaching you, getting like 2 feet away.
Yeah, I just not. I nod. No movement. Nothing. Just nod.
And leave it. And then I just do, and I know you don't know sign language, but I just go. And I leave.
Okay. Lynax is still standing there, a little disturbed at how quickly you made your way in and out of that tent, but not surprised given your level of skill.
I do a quick flourish with the new dagger. And I begin looping around up this way. I know there's a guard, but the guard was doing the loop clockwise, so I
Yep.
should have and because they
Dude,
were being thorough, but because they were being thorough, they were being slow. So
Yep.
we should
He
have
will
time.
have to like loop back this way, but you can see him still currently
Yep.
talking to a female archer, also
Okay.
clad in Imperium garb.
How far down is the drop here?
About 10-15 feet. It's not a very big one. It's just the main cliffs surrounding it that are quite large. Once you're in, it's kind of just different levels, about 5, 10, 15 feet.
Sounds good. So same thing, just drop down.
Okay, Lynax is going to follow this time. And just hide behind the tent and keep an eye out the front entryway.
And from behind the tent, I want to. Is it open flap or would I have to cut my way in?
You'd have to cut your way. The flap only opens in the front.
And I don't know if anybody in there is asleep. There is a guard right there, correct?
Yes, but he's kind of just sitting by the fire currently drinking a flagon. You don't think he's on guard duty.
Okay.
He might just be hanging out and
I'll-
resting up a bit.
Carefully loop around the side to slink inside.
I'm going to say at this point, we'll need another stealth check as
Yep.
we are actively moving into
And
different...
yeah, same thing.
areas of
I am
light.
actively helping them stealth. Lynax.
Okay.
Okay. 19 plus pass without, so that's 29.
Yeah,
And you
so
have
again, at least a 30
advantage.
for Lynax, so
Yeah.
you're good.
Okay.
So he's, again, just has his arrow knocked and is watching, making sure the
Yep.
guard doesn't notice you or anything like that.
I slip in. How many people are inside this tent?
2,
Okay.
both asleep.
I pick one at random. Same thing.
Roll me an attack roll with advantage. You're going to hit no matter what, but if you roll below a 15, they're going to hear it. Yeah, so
19.
again, silently this time, you don't, like, the hand is barely on the mouth. Like, you don't give this person the opportunity to wake up, and as the eyes just quickly open, dagger goes right. Same place. Exact same placement. That nice. You're using a different dagger than your spiraled one right now?
Yeah, I left the spiraled one with Toren and I took the dagger from the slave owners, or the slave captain's
There you go.
quarters. So I'm now using the slave captain's dagger for this.
Okay. Feels powerful. Something kind of special about this. It hits a little harder than your standard dagger. Out of character, this is a +1 magical dagger of returning.
I appreciate that. Good to know.
You can throw it, it'll come back to you.
Wipe the blade off, or clean the blade with a feather and leave it right on. There's no end tables or anything here, right?
Yep. There's like a couple chests kind of at the foot of each bed.
Okay. Leave the feather on top of the chest of the guy who survived, who I didn't kill.
Okay. With
And I
his
leave.
with his allies' blood in it. Okay, yep, absolutely. One more dead. We're just stealth going through this whole shit.
Yeah, so same thing. I'm gonna peek out, make sure red's not paying attention, make sure purple's not focusing on.
Yeah, purple is now moved back and is about there.
Okay. So slip into the next tent.
Empty.
Okay, nice and easy. Tent over.
2 people.
Okay,
Wait, nope, that's a 1 person. Sorry, only 1 person.
I leave it.
Okay. At this point, the guard's just making his way, and he stops here
Okay,
and is actively searching for people.
I will slink.
Doesn't roll high enough. Does not roll high enough at all. Not even in the slightest.
While I'm waiting for
Fuck.
the guy to pass, I'm actually gonna slink into the tent that I know is empty.
Okay. Yeah, good call. Good call. So you don't have to reroll your stealth.
Yeah, and I will keep dagger at the ready just in case somebody walks in, but yeah.
Yep, you're all clear. And you wait, and you give it about 10 minutes, and the guard makes his way. Linex at this point has slipped into the tent with you.
Yep.
And is currently hiding in you as well.
You guys are spooning.
Yeah, and by the time you like keep your eye out, this guy has now made it back over to the slaves and does not see anything amiss.
Okay, in towards this tent.
2 people.
Same deal.
Roll me an attack at
Yeah.
advantage.
The dagger that Atin left, I wouldn't have left that. Like I would have grabbed that and pulled that.
Oh yeah, like that is on
Yeah.
your person and safely stowed away. You see the guard pass now, and now that you have a weapon in your hand, you're keeping an eye out for any openings, but you're still locked in a fairly confined cage, chained.
Smart enough not to make them not cause a ruckus where I can't use my hands.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So, definitely high enough. Once again, same deal. Dagger goes in, slides out, small gurgle,
Yeah.
another dead body.
Rinse and repeat.
And
Same
these
thing
are
with
like
feathers.
standard foot soldiers. They don't have the most HP. They're trained to fight in a phalanx. They're not naturally
Yep.
beefy. The next
Yeah.
tent over is also empty.
Okay, so this one's empty. The only tent that leaves left is this one, and I'd rather not touch it. Just
Yeah, and
because I
then the
know-
5 up here.
Oh, wait, hold on. I got it. Oh, I hadn't panned over. So yeah.
Not bad considering I made this map in like a 30-minute period, right?
Okay, so I'm gonna
like
do
4 hours.
basically the same thing, but it's gonna operate slightly differently. Okay, gonna go into this tent.
Okay. Currently occupied with 1 person. These are single beds.
Okay, are all tents single beds?
The ones down there, most of them were 2, except for this one, and this one is a
No,
single.
like I mean the 5 up here. Do they appear all to be single?
Yeah, they're a little smaller, except for the big one where you know for a fact the captain is currently
Right, but
sleeping.
that's just because the captain's an asshole.
He is
Okay.
not currently sleeping.
You have no
I'm
idea.
going to. I'm
You
just
gather
gonna
the
do
captain isn't gonna go down that easy.
I'm just gonna do top side, tent 1, tent 2.
Okay. So 1 person. 1 person.
And I'm going to kill them both as long as the rolls allow.
Yeah, roll me 2 attacks and then 2 attacks. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
They die.
Yeah. Just,
I take their feathers, but I also take their helmets.
okay.
The feathers are left just outside, like a rock or something to hold them in place.
There's chairs around the fire.
Yeah. In front of the 2 tents on the opposite side. And the helmets are placed in front of the tent of the leader.
Oh, I love it. It's so dark. Okay.
The only thing I have left that I want to do. And I'm gonna turn and I'm gonna I'm just gonna go.
Which means
1 kill, and then you and I run.
okay. Who are you gonna go for?
Red.
Oh, this guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to come up behind Red.
He is actively awake. Keep that in mind. And still armored.
Yeah, he's still armored.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go into one of the things that's dead, like one of the
dead people tents. Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotcha,
and I'm just
gotcha,
gonna be
gotcha.
like, can you do pass? I'm not gonna stage whisper here. Can you do pass without a trace at least one more time? if we have to.
Yes, but that's it. No
Okay.
more after that.
Understood. Red being awake wasn't a problem. Red being armored is. That changes things slightly.
No helmet, but the chainmail is like it's kind of plate
Yeah.
armor, and the chainmail hood is kind of just around the throat, like hanging there.
Right.
Bottomize him.
I want to.
Unk.
I want to observe, and I want to see if Red ever takes his armor off by the fire or anything. And I'm willing to wait like up to half an hour for that.
Just hiding in the tent you're in.
Yeah, just keeping like a weather eye on
Yeah.
everyone's placement and stuff.
In the
Or
time,
if alternatively if Red leaves and someone else comes to the fire that looks killable, that is also viable.
no, purple in that time makes about 2 rounds, goes back
Yep.
to that side. And during that time, you notice Red now kind of just saunter off to one of the empty tents, which I believe was this one. No,
Okay.
that was the empty tent, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you see him go into that center tent.
Okay. I'm gonna loop back to that tent after enough time has passed that I think that Red might have passed out.
Mhm.
This one's gonna be different. If are they asleep in
Oh,
the
yeah.
tent?
Lightly, and you can tell they've just fallen asleep. The breathing's still light.
So same thing. Kill, and
Yep.
I'll roll to see if I can get away with it. Fuck! It had to happen eventually.
Yeah, so what's the total on
Uh-oh.
that?
At a hit, it's 11.
Okay.
They're unarmored, yeah, but still.
Yeah.
I mean, it had to happen eventually. It
Yeah.
didn't have to.
So
but-
you reach your hand and try to put it over the mouth, and as you do, this individual immediately snaps awake, having
Yep.
not passed deeply into sleep yet, and sees the dagger just aiming for his throat and reaches his hand up and just grabs onto it, tries to hold it. Your hand is still over his mouth. He's
Okay.
trying to struggle, but he's holding the dagger away from himself.
Okay. I'm hoping Linax hears this going on.
Yeah, he does, and he walks in. And since this guy is currently engaged with you and pretty much restrained down on a bed, Linax just walks up and shoots an arrow just right into his chest, like kind of going up through his throat and out the back of his head. Kind of pins him back into the bed just with his eyes wide open.
Yep. So now all of a sudden, like Atin's aware that he's on a time crunch. I'm gonna pull out the letter.
Okay, so the purple guard who's walking around has not heard that.
Okay.
No one heard the struggle as far as you can tell.
I'm gonna take out the letter that I wrote. I'm gonna pull the arrow out of the guy.
Yep.
Drop it. Gonna take the letter that I wrote, tilt up his head, set the letter right there,
You just lagged out.
drive dagger, and leave it.
You're just gonna leave the daggers.
Okay.
Yeah, you lagged out through your description there.
Okay. Basically, the note that I wrote that says those who are left can still survive. I forget exactly what I wrote. Basically, it's just going to be a note that just says you can still live.
Yeah.
Just those of you that are left, you don't have to die like this. But it's going to be, the knife is going to be the nail that keeps it there.
And you're gonna leave you leave your new magic dagger stuck in his throat?
Yep. I don't need a magic dagger. Fuck that shit.
Okay. That's your choice. And then
We'll get it tomorrow.
Having concluded your business, you and Linax wait until Purple has made their way back over here. Fairly easily scale the 2 cliffs, and you find the rope still hanging there. It's going to be an athletics check to climb up. No advantage.
Yeah, because
No
they'll have
acrobatics.
advantage because I will help action, but
Can he do acrobatics?
No, this is pure feat
It's
of
been more
strength. You have to
yeah.
straight up
Okay.
pull yourself up.
Wait, acrobatics or athletics? Which
Athletics,
one do
please.
you want? Okay. It worked.
With your help, Linax barely makes the climb.
Okay.
He tries to do his nimble elf movements, and he just can't find a foothold. It's pretty it's rocky, but it's more of like a smoother sandstone, having been blasted repeatedly by the winds and sands and debris that run through here. It's kind of hard to find hand grips
grab the rope.
But he's
I
like
just pull
trying to pull, and then Stanny just grabs the rope and starts just like hand over hand hauling you all up. And as you're like climbing and you're like, hey, I'm doing a pretty good job, you notice every couple seconds you get another couple feet higher up this cliff face. And in a couple minutes you manage to make the top, having sown a large amount of discord in the camp below, or at least soon to have sown some discord. We'll see what happens
In
when
the morning. Yep.
they awaken. So I'm assuming now the plan is to go meet with the other force and prepare for the morning. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna stay a healthy distance away, but I want to watch, because if they do something in the morning that is different, like if they decide to turn around, we have to change plans immediately, and we need the fastest amount of time knowing that possible. So
Okay. Stanny, you said you're going to go meet with the cavalry.
Yep.
Okay, so you separate from the group, make your way back towards where the main force is, loop up, meet up with them, and have to kind of loop back up the other side to meet with your forces over there. But you do manage with your brother Ilsevere, who is waiting with the bulk of the force, make your way to the group of cavalry, and you find them kind of encamped in like a little canyon nestled between two mountains here. That's kind of tucked away, but provides easy access to the road if they need to make a quick.
Do I find Ikesh, who is not actually shiny golden, just like golden hair?
You see your beautiful golden, but not shiny golden warhorse just standing there with its beautiful flowing mane, just kind of blowing in a breeze that doesn't necessarily exist in this canyon. Beautiful creature.
Fantastic.
Yeah, he kind of looks at you as you approach him. If a horse could smile.
Just the big horse teeth.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Hey there, buddy. I missed you.
I missed you too.
Give him some extra cheese on it.
Oh, thanks. I love that he can communicate with you, and all of your animals sound just special.
We've got a tough day ahead of us tomorrow. We're gonna have to kill the guy who's naturally named after you. Isn't that crazy?
He's named after me?
He is named after you.
Oh.
That's how legendary you are, my friend.
Oh, thanks. He gives you a little horse thing.
Alrighty, I'm gonna tuck in. I'm gonna attempt to finish. I'm gonna attempt to get in a rest.
Yeah, you can get a long rest in Atin. Are you gonna stay up for the whole night and keep?
Oh yeah, I need to sleep at some point.
Or you can risk the point of exhaustion.
No, I can't. I sleep.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So
Speaking of that, does Toren have any exhaustion?
I'd say you did just get a full night's sleep. Unless you stay up all night, that's up to you.
No, he would go to sleep.
All right, so you get your rest. You're not exhausted or anything at the moment. You're all good. The following morning, Atin, you awaken early. You want to get a chance to observe the camp below. Excuse me. And as you sit and watch, now alone, your group has left you to rejoin with the others and left you kind of on your own up here sometime early in the morning.
Perfect.
You're just sitting there watching, and you start to notice a bustle of activity in the camp. People begin running from tent to tent in a panic, unarmored, popping in from tent to tent, checking and seeing the destruction that you have caused during the night. And you see the captain emerge from his tent from all the commotion, look down on the ground with where the two helmets lay, sees the two bloody feathers. Starts looking around and looking up into the mountains to try to see if there's any danger of an ongoing attack. And you can't hear him from where you are, but he goes down and begins trying to calm the men. From what you can see, he's trying to regain order in some way until you see someone emerge from the center tent holding the dagger and the note that was affixed to that man's neck. You see him read it, crumple it, and toss it into the fire. And you see him pull that man, the man who pulled the letter out close, and that being the only man who's entered that tent so far. You see him speak something to him, like face to face, leaning in. You're not sure what he says.
Take out an arrow. It's a whistling arrow, and it lands directly between the two of them. And
Roll me an attack, please.
Okay.
That's a called shot.
I'm gonna go ahead for this one specific. Well, It doesn't have to land between them. It just has to land
Yeah.
near them in a way that would
I'm
drag
not
attention,
giving
but-
you disadvantage, but that's do if
I
you
mean,
can actually hit your
I have
target.
I have a regular shot at 600 feet.
Yep.
Yeah,
you're
that's a
good.
19.
Mhm. Plus mods. So as they're standing there talking, you just hear, and you see just the arrow vanishes and clatters to the ground at their feet in the sand. And you see the commander immediately look up to where he saw the whistle come from.
I just give it. I mean, at 600 feet, he can't see me very well, but there's just a mock salute.
Yeah, he sees like a silhouette giving him a little
and then I
from
run.
the top of the
I
hill.
can run
Oh.
90 feet a turn.
Oh, dude,
I run.
I need art for that so badly. That's going to be the first campaign art I commission, is just a silhouette of Atin giving the old fuck you.
That's the difference between Atin and Stanislav. If Stanislav did that, he'd be like, and then they'd start running at him, and he'd be like, "Oh shit!" He'd be
extremely Russian of you. I approve.
But yeah, with that loud arrow, there's no way they could mistake that
Oh, they're familiar with the
someone-
sound too. They've heard these
Yeah.
arrows before.
someone's here and they're coming.
So now, if anything, they believe a member of your or a group of your tribe has been sent to hunt them.
Yep.
Who knows?
Who knows?
So you leave the commotion of the camp behind. You're not sure how much that is going to affect.
Yep.
You know of the some like dozen or more men stationed there. You killed about 6 or 7.
Yep.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I think it was 6.
You killed 6 men.
Yep.
So you cut their forces nearly in half, maybe a little less, and we're gonna see how that plays out. I'm gonna go ahead.
Although you didn't kill the captain, you have the dagger stuck in his throat.
Yep. Jesus. Okay. So we're gonna move back on to the other spot, and I'm gonna just quickly hit the bathroom real quick because I got to do that. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Yep. Sounds good. Well, I would say that was overall a very productive night. I think
Wow.
yeah.
Not even an assassin rogue.
No. Well, okay. I will give, and I know we're on stream, but I will still say, like, Pat and I have talked in the past about how we both think about rogue stuff. So I was aware that if they're unconscious, he gives a lot of leeway. I abused that to an extent, but in theory, I could have had Linax do it while I played Lookout, and we would have functionally done the same thing. And Linax actually is better at that than I am, probably. But
Still went fine.
yeah, no, it went good. The men are shooketh. I say the men. The troops are shooketh.
Thine boat hath been shooketh.
Yeah. And at this point, the most important thing I can do is to make them afraid, basically.
Sorry about that.
But by the way, Rob, all I can think of with the way your picture is right now is all around me are familiar faces.
All right. Sorry about that, folks. I am back. So-
See you too.
Coming
All right.
to the next phase. Oh shit! I zoomed in way too much. Oh no.
I'll let the commander know what I did too, just so they know exactly what I've done and what's going on.
Yeah. So he laughs a little, kind of like impressed that you were even able to pull it off at all. Wasn't expecting that level of close to like hand to hand. Well, not hand to hand combat, but usually he thought of you as like a ranged individual. But is
Not
quite
not my
impressed with you.
forte.
Yeah.
You should see what Burr does. He makes what I did look silly.
Well, I have to say I'm impressed, and I hope I never cross him in my sleep.
Yeah, me too.
I've been meaning to ask, how's are people gonna react if they see you fighting with us?
Technically speaking, I've not violated any codes. I'm doing a job. I'm being paid for it in my own way. And I haven't killed any of them.
Yet.
Not yet. And if I do, there are technically rules within the clan that allow it, but it won't go over well. But everyone knew that when I left. It was an I shouldn't say established, but I think we all kind of knew that this was a possibility. They knew what I wanted. Some of them knew what I wanted, and they knew what it would look like to get it.
Well, fair
It's
enough.
Part of life.
I can respect that. We should get ready. If they're coming, they're gonna be making their move.
If you want the details, we'll have a nice long drink after this is done.
and asked to see Linax had you taken up drinking.
Oh God. Anyway, let's go.
Linax just kind of smirks from behind you. You don't see it, but you feel it.
Uh-huh. Oh, I do.
The slightly quickened breath, just like the nose smirk.
Yeah. So as
Feel that on your.
as you're waiting, you see the woman that you saw the day or during the planning session when you're all sitting around the table in the kind of camouflage looking like dark shades of brown and lighter shades come kind of rushing out from one of the passes in the mountain and approaches and kind of just leans in and says something in his ear very quietly, so quiet you can't even pick it up. But he just turns and says, well, it seems like they're on their way. Less of them than we expected.
Like I said, resources.
Maybe this is going to work after all.
We can only hope.
Well, you heard what I said to my men. I'm assuming I don't need to warn you to watch your shots here. I don't see any of my men fall. I figured I didn't have to. All right, well, we're going to take up position here. Where do you want to be?
Highest point furthest away.
Okay. So if you zoom all the way out
Ready
on the
to
map,
charge in?
that point would probably be around here or up here.
I'll
in the
take.
top left, and it'll take a minute to get there. You'll have to cross over and walk over some ridges and stuff.
I'm
but you
happy to
can
be
go
right
ahead
there. That's
and
fine
place
with
yourself. I'm not going to put out minis for all of them because they're just ranged combatants, but there's like an archer behind here, an archer behind here, an archer behind there. Like they have this entire valley covered. Stanny, you're going to be coming in from the eastern side over this way.
Okay.
With the cavalry, and there's about 20 of you. So again, I'm not going to put minis on the map for all of them. They were
What?
Actually, it would probably be closer to 10, not 20, because they didn't have that big a force. But you're prepared. You also have a scout come to who appears to be the leader of your cavalry unit and fill them in on the news, and he starts running around telling the men to get ready and prepare their horses.
I'm going to tell him as soon as we spot Ikesh, we're going after him.
He looks at you and says, well, that's your business.
He's the biggest threat. He needs to be taken down.
Whatever you do, don't fuck it up.
Oh, I won't. Ilsevir, do you want to hop on Ilsevir?
No, I got it. Or he looks, he's like, I've got this, brother. Don't worry about me. And he goes to his own horse that you've seen him ride now multiple times. Like,
right,
he seems to be quite bonded with this animal.
Yeah.
Snickle Fritz will take care of me. Slides his leg up over, mounts Snickle Fritz.
You just see Stannis like muffling a laughter.
Remember the plan. Remember the plan with the spiders, you two. They don't have to attack you if you don't let them.
You're not with them.
Oh yeah, I'm far away. I'm sorry, I didn't say any of that.
Said to yourself.
Shit. Yeah, he's just under his breath. He's like, don't fuck up the plan.
Mm.
And the plan was established. The cavalry's job is to ride in, deal with any foot soldiers and archers, and then protect the slaves that are being
Is the captain going to give us an inspirational speech like the president of the U.S. before the aliens get attacked?
Like or Bill Pullman style.
So he kind of mounts his horse. He looks back.
Day?
All right, I'll keep this short and sweet for you. Don't fuck it up. Good? Got it? All right, perfect. Let's move out. And he just begins riding slowly.
I feel inspired.
Trotting up. Yeah, there you go. You gather these aren't the type for big lofty speeches. They're more the business side of things, right?
My peeps. My peeps.
I need to find my mini for Ilsevir. Ilsevir. With Stanislav. There you go. You're not actually in there yet, but for now it's okay if you're on the map. Is there any final preparations any of you would like to go through before this event begins?
Nope. My arrows have been dispersed. My longbow is in hand. I'm ready to go.
I'm going to cast Shield of Faith on myself and me horse, because I can do that.
Okay.
So
So plus 5 AC or plus 2 AC?
Just 2.
Okay.
And then, what was I going to say? I'm going to continuously take the dodge action.
Okay.
While I have Kesh ride forward.
Oh, that's smart. All right. So if that's everything everyone would like to do,
I
Toren,
guess there's not much I can do.
hide the dagger and hope they don't find it.
Suitcase it.
Yeah.
Prison pocket?
Right in the prison
Sorry,
pocket.
Atin.
I mean,
So-
Atin was aware of what would have to be done when they left the dagger.
So
Gotta shove it up your butt. You're gonna get eaten by a tiger.
You're all waiting. The cavalry is waiting for its signal or to hear some kind of commotion from up ahead. They're currently hidden behind a bend, not actively visible. Atin, looking around, you see no sign of any of your people here yet.
Doesn't surprise me.
Depends on the contract, I guess. You don't know if Ikesh can afford their services.
That too.
Either way, so you're all waiting. Arrows knocked, ready to fire. And you see this caravan now begin weaving its way through the canyon and making its way to where you are now. You see the large spires of rock in the middle of the road, kind of causing them to split. A number of the archers go on either side, along with a number of foot soldiers as well. There is currently a driver driving both of the carriages. They do not appear to be armored. They civilian, kind of, or outside hire, I guess.
Okay.
However, as they begin to split,
Are they one-horse carriages?
2. You notice Fayas with his bow ready, kind of try to get your attention, like give you a little wave. And you see him kind of just return a nod. And he's just going to prepare a shot. Kind of lean out from behind a rock. And just hold. And wait. He's not at full draw yet, because you don't want to hold at full draw. It's bad on your arm.
Yeah.
He's just got his arrow almost drawn. Not quite. And as they kind of split and come to this fork in the road right about here where they are now, he's going to just let loose the first arrow of the combat, firing straight for the horse of the front carriage.
Smart.
It's a 13, but he's attacking for stealth. 16 plus his mods, which I have somewhere. They're really fucking high. So yeah. So the arrow just... You see it just hit dead into like where the chest of the horse would be, kind of going for a heart shot on it. And I believe a longbow is a D8.
Yep.
Wink. Pretty low. It doesn't kill the horse, but it does startle it and wound it. And it begins trying to make a fuss and start trying to run. The driver is currently trying to calm it, and it's beginning to panic. It hasn't made a break for it yet. You can tell the horse is injured and very unhappy. And the horse next to it is now being made equally uncomfortable by the commotion here. I'm gonna change the music on the Sirenscape.
Please don't stop the music.
There we go. There's the arrow. Yeah, there we go.
Ding ding.
So at that point, I would like everyone to roll initiative, including Toren. I'm just gonna pull up the initiative tracker real quick here. Where is that?
Whereabouts am I right now?
You're behind the second carriage, about 10, 15 feet back. I'm gonna have this purple guy be there. So I'd say you're about
right there.
Nice.
Okay.
Oh god, I gotta clear this. One sec. Remove all turns. Clear. There we go. So Stanislav, wherever your
15.
mini is, you rolled a 15.
I moved right up against the rocks to avoid visibility from them.
Yeah, you're not even in the canyon yet. Remember, you're on
Oh, okay.
cavalry. You guys are waiting
Right.
to charge.
Right.
Add turn. Add a turn for Ilsevere. Add a turn for Atin. I fucking hate it when it does that.
Yep.
Let me just do the thing.
Let me do the thing.
How fucking far out do I have to zoom to do this shit?
Oh,
It's
far
it's
out, man.
Far out, dude.
Okay, I'm annoyed, so I'm just gonna move you up. There we go. Add a turn. And then Toren, add a turn for you. Okay, so Stanley rolled a 15. Ilsevere hasn't rolled yet. 19. Toren 11. And I need to get Ilsevere's sheet open because I'm a dum-dum and didn't have it ready beforehand. Oops.
Oops.
It's okay. It happens.
It does
Don't
happen
even
when the
worry
DM
about
has ADHD and is a spacehead.
That doesn't help.
Nope. No, sir, it does not. Sorry.
ADMD.
Yep, pretty
Attention
much.
Dungeon Master Disorder.
You're not wrong. All right, he's gonna roll. Boom.
WWDMD.
He rolled a 7. Why did it take everyone else's out? 11.
They're not posting for us.
Yeah, I know it didn't do it for some reason. There we go. And now I need to roll for everybody else.
Everybody.
I can take the slave hunter captain out of there. At least.
Everybody
That's
in
good.
the club getting tipsy.
Everybody in the club getting tipsy.
Or herb butter. Herb butter in the club getting tipsy. Herb butter in the club getting tipsy.
Guys, really? Herb butter? Herb butter?
Herb
I
butter.
saw that on. It was like a
Herb
Tumblr
butter.
thing. It was like how to make herb butter. You melt your butter, you dice your herbs, you add that shit to that shit, boom, you're done. And then someone commented, herb butter in the club getting tipsy. So
All right.
clever.
So starting the round with this guard who currently sees the horse freaking out, does not see the arrow lodge itself in his chest, but knowing something is up at least, he's going to advance to stand next to his captain, who is marked with the red dot now, and just put his shield up and prepare and take the dodge action for his turn in case any arrows come his way. The captain is going to spend his turn trying to get a semblance of order from his troops here. But they're gravely outnumbered. And it appears, based on your math, Atin, that a number of people did desert. Like, the math doesn't add up here. You only killed 6 people. There should be more than 7 left on the field, but there's not. So you got
Butter, listen up.
pretty sizable chunk of their fucking forces to leave them. So he's going to just start trying to gather his men and issuing commands. He's like, you, get over here. You, take up my side. You, covering fire. And he's just kind of directing whoever he can currently see in range. That is going to be his turn as well. He's going to just get his shield up and ready and also take the dodge action on his turn. Your turn is up, Atin. What would you like to do? You can chill.
All right. So with me chilling up there, I kind of get a
You're
cherry
so-
pick
Yep.
of targets. I actually want to shoot the chain that's got the slaves connected to the cart.
It is quite thick, and that is
Okay.
a called shot. You
Yeah,
can try it.
okay, that's fair.
It
That's
is
fair.
a heavy iron chain.
I'll shoot purple, and I'll not move and get a advantage on this attack.
Okay. Yeah, you can easily hit that shot.
So that why did I not? Anyway, it's +9, so 25 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
I don't know
Alright.
why I did it that way, but sure.
The archers have a little more HP, which is good.
So that's 17 points of damage.
Yeah, so it hits, and like as they're kind of readying themselves, and they see the chaos
know
beginning to
what?
ensue, your arrow just.
I'm gonna use one of my my die, my very, very good die, because I don't use them often enough. Superiority, that's what they're called.
Yep.
And let's just make this a pushing attack, because fuck it.
Gotta push them back 5 feet. Sure. So they need
No,
to
it'd
make
be 15 actually.
bring
yes.
save. They
That's a
fail.
failure. So they get shoved 15 feet away.
That's a very powerful shot. So you just like pull out your longbow. You don't even really aim. You just kind of direct the arrow where you want it to go. Not so much aiming, and from distance, it's feeling your shot. And you raise your bow, kind of arch a little bit more to the sky to get the arc you need on the shot, and just. And you watch as the arrow just slowly vanishes. And you don't. It's so far away, you barely see it hit. You just see the figure wince and kind of like just grab at their side and then
Hard
stand.
stagger back. Yeah.
Yeah, and stagger back a few feet. Currently, an arrow embedded in their chest. Standing, you are with the cavalry, but at the front of the line with the commander, and they have begun their charge. So you have your turn.
Okay.
Your warhorse is also like a little faster in terms of
At 60
overall
feet,
speed.
yeah.
Yeah, like the step horses are nimble and very agile, but they're not necessarily the fastest in the kingdom.
Do I see Akesh?
No, he is inside one of the.
Okay. Do
One
I
of
see
the-
Toren?
Yeah, absolutely. He is a bright forest green half orc chained up, and he stands about a foot taller than most of the humans around him. Just chained up, slowly was marching, and now is just observing what's going on and sees you approaching.
All right. Yep. I'm gonna rip on over to him.
Okay.
Hey, buddy, I'm gonna get you out of these chains.
Never would I thought I'd be happy to see a familiar face.
Haha, let's do this. And I'm gonna take 2 attacks on his chains to try and free him.
Yeah, go ahead.
How is this arrangement set up? Like, what do I have to break to free him? Are there 2 things?
So
to
essentially,
break, 3
he
things?
has a steel belt to which
Okay.
his wrists and feet are attached, and then there's a separate chain going from that belt to the center chain he's attached to.
Okay, I'm gonna start on that one, the one that's attaching him to the center chain.
Okay, go ahead, roll your attack.
Yeah, 26.
That hits.
And then that is 12 points of slashing damage.
So you
Breaking
just
damage.
bring your sword, and it's magical. You know the metal's going to have no effect, and you just cut right through the chain, severing it cleanly. That much damage and that strong of a hit, no problem.
Nice.
So he's currently unattached from the rank and file of the slaves here.
Okay. Now, can I line it up where I can hit the other chains at the same time?
No,
The
just
two
one,
that are.
just one at a time.
All right, let's start with your feet so that you can run. I'm gonna get that one next.
Sure,
It
go
works
ahead.
for me.
Make an attack roll.
Alrighty.
Natural one.
Is that a nat one?
That's a nat one.
Damn. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. That's fine.
So
Can
this
I
time
have...
you bring your sword around, and just as you're swinging it down towards the chain connecting his 2 feet, instead of hitting the chain, you hit a rock that was just kind of behind
Cut
it.
my toes off.
Yeah, you just barely miss
Cut the
Toren's
rock in
toes,
half.
and as your sword hits the rock, it sends just a reverberation up your hand, like when you hit a baseball bat too low.
Ah!
Yeah.
It stings,
yeah.
fuck.
Yeah, that's a
Okay,
painful one.
can I have Ikesh try to break it with his hooves?
I'll say yes, but at disadvantage because it's a pretty narrow target for a big warhorse to trample.
Stanislav, I know you're excited to get me out of here, but you need to focus.
Okay, I'm actually not gonna have him do that.
Okay.
Okay, I've used my action. Shit. All right, well, I'm just gonna wait here then for Toren to hop on my horse. Bring him somewhere we can deal with this.
Okay.
I'm still
That's
wearing the collar, right?
Yep. No magic for you.
Yeah, I'll just say get on and I'll wait.
Okay. So seeing this happening now, the pink archer there is going to take their turn. And seeing this golden tiefling riding in at the head of the cavalry, just powering right past them, and trying to free one of the slaves, is going to take 2 shots at you with its 22 to hit you.
Yeah, that hits.
And a natural 20 to
Ooh,
hit you.
okay. 2 hits.
So the damage on the first strike is going to be a 12. Oh, max damage. Nice. You take 12 points of piercing damage from the first shot as it just ping! And you feel it pierce through your armor and dig into the back of your torso. And then the natural 20 was a 4 plus 4. So it was a crit, so that 4 is times 2. So it's 12. You take another 12 points of piercing
So
damage.
24.
Yeah, 24 total piercing damage as this archer just looses 2 arrows straight into your back as you're trying to deal with Toren. And then is going to move its... There's like a line of cavalry behind them.
Shit.
So going to try to scoot up here out of the direct path of the cavalry charge.
I wanted to hold an action for my horse, but it's too late.
Yep. Sorry, dude.
That's fine.
Yellow, or I guess the yellow archer, does not have visual on anyone on the cliff from here. So seeing the cavalry charging is just going to turn and take a shot at Ilsevere, who is also at the lead of it. 2 shots. 20 to hit, 13 to hit. I believe the 20 hits just barely.
Does AC?
19.
19.
You take 8 points piercing damage from that.
He'll be fine.
As the archer just once again tries to loose 2 shots. The first one does find purchase and kind of glances off, leaving a wound, but not sticking directly into the meat and flesh of his body. And it is go. They are going to scoot back over this way and try to just get a little cover from the arrows coming from above. Toren, you're up. You're no longer bound to this group of 20 individuals. You are still chained at the wrist and feet. And Stanislav is there holding his hand out to pull you onto his horse. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna take his hand.
Okay. And I mean, I'll allow that as a free action. You can just swing him up onto the horse.
Yeah.
By his
Same.
chains, yep.
Yeah, pretty much.
Basically having like a potato sack on the back of this massive
Yeah, essentially.
celestial horse.
Kind of just like draped
Um,
over, trying to get himself right.
Just like this.
Yeah.
I knew. I would have noticed what caravan Ikesh went into, eh?
Yeah, the first one, I believe it was.
I'm gonna turn to Stanislaw and point at the caravan and then like, he's there, the one who took me. That caravan.
All right.
And then
Okay.
yeah, that's it.
Just waiting on the horse to move. All right.
Yeah.
Next up is this fellow who is going to advance. Actually, they have a cavalry charge coming from the back, so he's going to turn and just stand behind his shield, trying to press himself like against the rock as much as he can to hopefully avoid the cavalry situation here. You guys really fucked him over by like taking out half their forces in a night. I didn't see that strategy coming. That was good. Ilsevir's up. His job has been given to him. He's supposed to protect the slave. So he's going to ride by the archer in purple and just take 2 attacks with their spear as they pass.
Remember, kids, sometimes violence is the answer.
Natural 1 and
no.
a 20. Okay, so the 20 hits. So the first strike, he brings it and tries to just unleash like a downward strike with his spear. Does not manage to connect. The archer kind of like twists it out of the way and knocks it. And as he's riding past, he just whips it around and kind of just across the face. What?
I just rolled a natural 1 with my longsword of the deceiver on that chain.
You did. So roll me damage.
We'll
Forgot about that. This is the first
have
time.
to retcon this just a tiny bit. Sorry, that's why I got so excited.
Yeah, no, this is the first time this has happened in the campaign. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
How much do I fuck
13.
myself up? 13.
You take 13 points of damage. So,
Ouch.
you didn't notice it at first, but when you took that strike and tried to cleave this chain and missed, you felt this overwhelming anger and rage build up inside of you, and then you just feel like almost the equivalent of like when something pops and you get that migraine. It's like ping, and it just stays there.
Just a small aneurysm. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a blast of psychic damage that you take as this sword essentially shames you for missing your strike and punishes you for doing so. Daddy's sword is angry, and you take 13 points. I'm gonna say psychic damage.
Yeah. I'm in pain.
Yeah, you're looking pretty rough now, dude. Not gonna lie.
I mean, yeah, 22.
Anyway, so he's gonna take his 2 strikes, hitting substantially on the second one, though not killing her. That's about all he can do.
I'm sad and happy.
He can't do any actions, but he is gonna interpose his horse between you and them, giving you some cover. I guess you're on horseback too, so not really cover, but like trying to put himself between the arrows and you. And that will be his turn, because I believe he can catch projectiles, right? Is that a thing?
Does he
Deflect missiles,
have...
Yeah, deflect missiles, reaction, can catch an arrow. Yeah.
All right, that is his turn. Next up, we have this soldier here who, realizing there's no ground attack coming from behind her or ahead of her, is going to move and form a small phalanx with this individual here and take the dodge action for their turn. Purple Archer is now going to take a shot at Ilsevir, who whacked her on the way past because she's angry. Nope. So she fires 2, and as it's like the first one just blocks it away with the spear, literally knocks it out of the air. And then
the second one catches it with the spear.
Doesn't it only... Yeah, if it's a miss, though, doesn't it not count? Like, you can't deflect missiles that don't hit
No,
you?
I mean, like, it went into the spear's shaft.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, just stops it.
He just has it in
dead
there
in the
now.
tracks and just breaks it off. The commander, realizing that they're vastly outnumbered here. Oh, God. You guys kind of fucked me. Yep. Kind of fucked me a little bit there, guys. He is going to attempt to run over here, climb onto the carriage, knocking the civilian out of his way as he does so. They're still on the carriage, and he's going to try to spur the horses along. As he is also here to protect the 2 individuals in this carriage.
Are there any slaves attached to that carriage?
No.
Okay, good.
Just the back one.
Yep.
And he is going to spur the horses on. I believe a cart in 50 has like 20 feet of movement. Could be wrong. It doesn't actually have a set speed, so I'm going to say they can move. Let's do 25 feet. Since it's 2 smaller horses carrying a fairly large cart. they are going to rush forward, and he's going to just use everything he has to make these horses spur along. So he and this carriage are just going to shoot up about 30 feet. Took an action to grab the range and get everything ready so he doesn't have the dash this turn.
Is that the cart that Ilsevere or that Toren pointed towards?
Yes, and it is currently making escape. I also mixed up those guys' turns, so red would have gone next. Blue is just going to back up and try to contain things over here. And he sees the two mounted components. Toren on the back of your horse is the closest one. He's going to make an attack against him. Just one, does not have multi-attack. 16 hit you, Toren, with no armor.
Sure does.
Okay, so you take 10 points of slashing damage. I rolled max damage again as he just walks up, and as you kind of like draped over the back of Stanny's horse, you see this man coming towards you, and you're like, oh shit, and you try to move and get out of the way and maybe parry with your chains a little bit, and as he sees that coming, he just changes to a thrust and stabs it right into the side of your leg, dealing a substantial amount of damage to you.
I was hoping it would go right in the butt.
No, we don't do that on this stream. It's not a butt stream.
The butt cheek.
Not yet.
I got a dagger suitcase to protect me, so I'm
Yeah,
good.
there you go. Atin, you're up, buddy.
If this requires an action, I'm fine with that, but I am just going to take a deep breath and I'm going to yell, "Your leader would abandon you. Surrender or die."
Roll me an intimidation check, please.
Okay. Intimidation. I have a 3. That's a 16.
Okay. There's 6 of them total, minus the commander. And you rolled a 16. So 2 of them beat it and do not appear to recoil or change their plan of attack at all.
Right.
Like, they understand they're fighting for their lives here. They're about to get hit by a cavalry charge. The only reason the cavalry hasn't gone yet is because they go on Stanny's turn. So in order from left to right is how they rolled that. So yellow succeeded, orange failed, green failed, blue failed, purple failed, and pink succeeded. They do not drop their weapons, but they are definitely affected by this news, and you can see a couple of them starting to reassess their position. However, as they are doing so, before Stanislav's turn start, the cavalry arrives and just plows through these people. So I'm going to have the cavalry make 2 attacks because they're going to split. One group is going to go this way, one group is going to go that way. They're not doing any weapon attacks, they're purely going for trampling here.
Damn.
17 and a 4. Okay, so the one that goes north succeeds and just tramples the purple archer completely dead to the ground, just crumpled, just smushed right up into jelly, the little skull. And they rush around you guys and kind of begin forming a perimeter around the slaves and trying to edge this guy back a little bit. And currently engaging with him, who's holding his ground. He's got his shield up, and since it's kind of a thin pass, it's only one horseman at a time that can really make it to him. And he's holding his own as it stands, but that could change very frequently or very quickly. Next up is the pink archer, who is going to continue firing. Oh yeah, you're up. Sorry, go ahead.
All right, let's get you out of this shit. Can I make like unarmed attacks against it and just like as a pulling break thing?
Yeah, I believe a chain has an actual like AC that, or not an AC, like a check to break it.
Okay, but I want to do both, and a check to break it would be 1.
It's an action to try to burst it.
Can I? Oh wait, hold on. Does
It would be a
my
DC 20 athletics.
to break 1 chain?
Yep.
Okay, so I couldn't do both at the same time.
Nope.
Okay.
Not designed to be easy.
No, that's fine. I'm going to use my channel divinity.
Atin, was your whole action just telling them to run, by the way?
I mean, I was probably going to start running like ahead of the carriage.
Okay,
Just so that it couldn't get away from me. I have 600 range. Though, like, that guy does not realize he's not escaping. But
No.
yeah,
Most
the
of them
only other
haven't
thing.
even noticed you yet. So if you want to use your movement, move your token wherever you think.
Okay, will do. I'll do that then.
Stanny, what you doing?
I'm gonna try and break his leg chains again
Okay. With an attack or with the strength?
with the strength check.
Okay, so it's a
I
DC
used
20
my-
athletics.
Okay, I used my peerless
Channel
athlete,
divinity.
so I have
Yep.
advantage.
Got you covered.
Oh, you shitting me?
Neither's high. So you try to grab the chain and just pull and start wrenching on it, and you can feel it's like starting to give, but not enough to break it. You do not manage to get the chain off of him this time around.
God damn it! Can you deal
Unfortunately.
with this, Toren?
I mean, I'm not well versed at strength, but I can do my best.
Shit.
Because you can see I'm still attached to these.
The fucker's getting away.
Well, let's go after him. We'll deal with these later.
All right, I'm gonna fucking
Yep.
at movement and action horsey run.
Okay.
Unless I can get there with 60 feet, then I don't need to. Yeah,
No.
no, movement
So you-
and action.
Okay. So you have with that you
And I
could
can just like.
you could try to block him if you wanted from getting past it. You can pass him. You can go 120
Yeah.
feet effectively, so you could get past him if you wanted. You could even loop around this side and like block this road off. It's up to you.
I just want to get directly in front of him.
Okay. No sweat. So you kind of pull up in front and kind of like turn fucking Ikesh to block. And the two horses that you're blocking currently, see the towering stature of your horse and the figure on top of it, and they begin to panic. They haven't stopped entirely yet. He might try to bull you over on his turn. But we'll see what happens.
All right. Shit. Okay.
Okay, so
Was that the full 120?
full 120 would
was
probably give you
here.
about here.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go just a little bit further down.
Okay.
This way. This way.
So
Yeah.
pink archer is up, purple archer is dead. I guess at this point it's just Ilsevere there, and a number of other cavalry. But the cavalry's kind of ridden past and are now doing like another pass to loop around kind of deal.
So third, yeah.
So I'm gonna take a shot at Ilsevere, who's looking okay.
So I know the Cav
Oh, that's a
kind
short
of screwed
sword.
up
Ignore
my
that.
surrender order, but well, not order, but my offer of
Crits.
surrender. But
Who's
I
that
mean,
against?
that was a crit against Ilsevere. Still +6 to hit, so it doesn't matter that I rolled the short sword instead. And then it's D8 damage instead. Oh, max damage. So 8 times 2 is 16 plus 4, 20. Ilsevere takes 20 points of piercing damage. Straight off the bat.
Is he still up?
Yep, barely. And there's another shot about to go against him. Takes second shot. Also a hit. And only takes 8 points of piercing damage. Barely standing. He's less than that amount of damage in HP. You don't see any of that happening at this point, though. He's kind of blocked by rocks in the cart. And you're focused on other things.
Shit.
However,
Yeah.
that will be their turn. The archer down here, and they missed their cavalry charge. They essentially rode past, and the guards managed to just pin up against the wall and make sure they didn't get trampled by the hooves. So he is going to turn and take a shot at the captain of the charge, who is about here at this point. Again, I'm not going to drag out minis for all of them, just because fuck it.
that's fine. Theater of mind.
He's aiming for the horse as well. So he hits the
You
first
will bring
shot.
theater.
I believe hits the second shot. Not sure what the AC on a normal horse is. I know on the war horse it's only like a 12. So I'm assuming a regular horse is lower.
Yeah, right. Yeah, regular horse is lower than that.
So 6.
The warhorse is 11.
Okay,
Nice.
yeah. I love it. A riding horse. Let's see what its HP is. Oh no. So as the captain rides past and think they have successfully charged over these people, 2 arrows just right into the side of his horse, which collapses immediately, having its heart been hit, and it lies dead in the dirt. The captain.
Should the guy make a dex save
Yeah,
to not get crushed?
I'm on it. I'm on it.
We getting there.
Yoink. Nat 1.
Head crush?
Yeah, so it's a horse. I'm gonna say that's like at least 2d12 damage. He's okay. His leg is currently pinned under the horse and more than likely broken. He took quite a tumble and is now pinned under the weight of his dead horse right about here.
Good thing he didn't Gallagher splat.
Yeah. Toren, you're up.
God.
Can I hop off if I hop off the horse, can I move up to the captain?
Yep, he's actively rushing towards you at full speed, so it might be difficult to
that
get up
captain
there.
is. Okay, does Stanislav still have his javelins on his back?
Yep.
I want to grab one and try throwing it at the horse.
Okay, I'm going to say your attack is at disadvantage because your hands are still bound, which is kind of hard to tuck a javelin, but I will allow it. Are you aiming for the horse, one of the horses, or the captain?
One of the horses.
Okay.
It's plus dex plus proficiency.
Ooh. Natural one.
I'm not even my strength is +1, so I wasn't hoping for much.
You try to yeah, you should be I guess it's not dex based because it's just a throwing spear, which is weird to me, but I would allow dex for it. Either way, it's a nat 1.
I mean,
yeah.
So you step forward and try to throw it, and between the chains on your legs, you can't get a good throwing stance out of it. Your hands are attached, and it's just giving you some difficulty. And you kind of stumble over a rock and you throw it, and it just kind of glances off a rock to the left of the carriage.
If anything, because my hands are bound, and I got a nat 1, that's almost better.
Yeah, it's ineffective in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, and then I'm just gonna lean into Stanislav, and there's no way that either one of those two are leaving this canyon.
Well, you bet your ass that's right.
And that's my turn.
Okay. Next up, we have this guardsman who is currently dealing with the aftermath of a cavalry charge. How far is it over to here? Oh, he can't make that. So he is going to, honestly, just get his shield up once again, because they're going to move to here, get in between the archer and the cavalry, and hold a phalanx and just take the dodge action again, because there isn't much he can do otherwise. I could try. He's going to actually move up to here instead. No, not there. He's going to actually just use his movement to go there and hide from the next cavalry charge, so they can't really trample. Ilsevere is up and not looking good at all.
He can heal himself.
For a D6. For a D6.
He's fine. He can heal himself.
He can run away and then heal himself.
That's true. So he is going to actually, literally spin his horse around and just begin sprinting this way. He does not, however, see the dude who just took cover there, and the man will get an attack of opportunity on his horse as he passes. It's just a shitty little warrior, so he's probably going to be okay. It's a 6. It doesn't hit. It doesn't hit at all. No. Just swings at Snicklefritz as Ilsevere rides past. Yeah, Snicklefritz is fine.
If you kill Snicklefritz, I'll burn your house down.
Yeah, it just glances off. And as Ilsevere's doing that, he's also going to take a strike or 2 strikes as he passes with his spear and try to get out of here before he
Doesn't he have to hit to do Hand of Healing?
Yeah, but he doesn't have an unarmed. He has a spear in one hand, the other hand's holding the reins.
Weapon. That still counts.
No, it has to be a flurry of blows.
Oh, right.
Yeah, which is only fists. Either way, he rolls a 19 and then a nat 20. So he'll be fine. First one, damage. Let's go roll. Okay, ignore the second one. First one is 10 points of piercing damage to the soldier. Next one, the crit, is 5 times 2 plus 4 is 14. I don't know why it doesn't do the math. It knows how crits work. And as he rides past the soldier who is gonna try to take a swipe at him, he just jams the spear right into the man's gullet and down into his chest and yanks it out, and on the last strike swings it around and just cuts the man's throat gracefully as he rides past. He does manage to make it about to there. He's still in range of the archers, but he's no longer in the heart of the combat.
That's good.
So this man is fucking dead. Goodbye. Orange is up. Also going to retreat back into this little nook. Actually, that was one of the people who failed. Yeah, so they're going to retreat and just put their back to the wall and almost not quite stand with their hands up, but they have the shield still in front of them, but the sword is kind of hanging limply at their side. They don't appear to have much will to fight left in them. Purple Archer is dead. Commander is up and seeing you two in front of him and now hucking spears at him. He is just going to try to plow his 2-horse carriage straight through the two of you, starting with Stanislav.
Can we try to jump out of the way, make a dex save or some shit? Can I jump off my horse to avoid this shit?
Yeah, actually, I'll allow that. So both of you make me a dex save.
Okay,
Toren at disadvantage.
I'm me a disadvantage.
Yep, because you're still
Still.
bound.
Add +4 though. Because of my aura.
So 15.
And 14.
Okay, I'm gonna say that's. How do I decide?
However, you as a DM decide.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say it's enough. Toren, you are gonna take half damage.
Okay.
Actually, you both rolled 15 or lower, so yeah, you're both gonna take half damage from it, because it is going to hit you. Unless you would like your horse to take the full blow, Stanislav. That's your choice.
I'm fine with him taking the full blow.
Okay, so someone gonna take 2d10 each. So 11 points of damage to Toren and 11 points of damage to your horse. You essentially Yoshi off the back of Yikesh, leaving him to die.
He's fine.
He takes the damage, but is still standing. I'm gonna say have your horse roll an athletics check against this carriage's athletics. You have to beat a 15.
Oh. So I just roll strength.
Yeah. You tie. The cart
So-
stops. The horses hit you and you give a little, but your horse manages to hold its ground, and these two much smaller horses are just not enough to push it. The momentum of the cart behind it does kind of drag you all along, and one of the horses kind of begins to slip under the reins, but maintains its footing. So now he's in front of you,
Fucking
right
mega
in
Hulks that
range.
shit, though.
Yep. Also, I keep mixing up those guys.
Did he use his action to ram us though?
Yeah. That was definitely an action. And because you guys tied on athletics, he's not going to get past you. You're both just going to stop dead.
Okay, good.
And because I skipped this blue guy's turn again, he is going to... Seeing no one's freed the slaves from the back of this carriage, it is currently stopped. The driver is long since dead from all the arrows being shot by the Hushroot Tribe. He is going to mount up on it and try to get it moving as well. That's going to move 25 feet. And the slaves at this point now, as it's moving in a hurry, are beginning to like stumble behind it. A couple of them fall or are just being dragged through the mud and dirt. Atin, you're up.
Okay, so I'm going to get advantage this turn. I won't.
Yep.
I'm gonna take a sharpshooter shot.
Who at?
The horse on Red's carriage.
The one that just rammed into Stanislav? Okay.
Yes, yeah. So
So you're
got
minusing 5, but adding 10 to your damage, right?
yeah, and add advantage. Oh no, that's the wrong. Hang on. I think there we go. That should, so 24. Well,
both,
19.
Both hit.
Well, no,
substantially.
that's advantage. That's not even 2 strikes. That's just the
Okay,
advantage.
so 19 definitely hits the horse. So 13 piercing plus 10, so 23.
Well,
Plus sneak
13
attack.
piercing, add sneak attack because advantage. So 13 plus 9 is 22. 32 points of damage on
The horse collapses.
It's a dead fucking horse.
Yeah, as you fire the first arrow and you watch as it just right into the torso of this animal, like right where, like going directly into the heart, and it just collapses. And you now see the carriage kind of like half tilted as the weight of this horse is pulling down on the reins on the right side. That card.
There's
ain't
2
going-
horses. There's another live horse.
Yeah,
Still, right?
that card ain't going anywhere anytime soon, though.
Yeah.
You have one more shot.
I just give him a little thumbs up.
I just pull another arrow. I don't have another shot, and I'll just yell out.
Oh, you don't have multi attack?
Not yet. I can action surge if I really want to, but
Okay.
no. I'm just gonna yell, "Your leader's captured. Combat is over."
Roll me an intimidation at advantage.
Nice.
Okay.
I think you're the worst one when it comes to these checks. You've done the most of them this
All right.
round.
That's a 12. Not nearly as good, but I haven't lied to them. With the exception of one person, they all
Yeah.
fail.
So the archer, the pink right here, is the only one who is still not surrendering. The rest of them drop their weapons and raise their hands.
Okay.
The arrows begin stopping from above. There's no point in continuing this fight, but you see all of the Hushroot Tribe who've just been launching arrows down at this entire group the whole time. And now looking up, you see a couple of dead archers in the cliffs above who appear to have been backup for this group and Overwatch that were swiftly and deftly
Nice.
taken out while you guys were focused in the combat below.
How does the slave dude in front of me react to all this? Does he?
The
what does he do?
captain,
He's isolated now.
he rolls a nat
I mean,
20,
he's-
so he is
yeah.
resolved to die.
Okay.
He has a
Okay.
job to do, and he's going to do his best to do it. And he just, as he's now stopped, going to pull out his long sword again, prepare himself with the shield, and just kind of spin the sword around.
Stanislav is happy to
Yeah,
grant his
look up at
request.
Stanislav. Oh, come on, then! And it's Stanislav's turn.
All right. I'm gonna use all 30 of my lay on hands pool on myself because I'm in pain.
Yep, yes, you will. Do that.
I'm
as
in
you says.
danger.
I'm in danger.
Confirmed. I'm still not at full, but I'm way better. I got cranked.
Yeah, your sword did more. That's the first time that's ever happened. I'm so happy.
And it was on a chain.
Yep,
Of all things.
I am.
Oh
I am
my
amused.
God. And then I'm gonna dismount.
Yeah, sure. You can essentially climb onto the cart at this point, more or less. But yeah,
No, I'm gonna I'm gonna dismount. Is he holding the reins or a weapon?
he dropped the reins, realizing there's nowhere to go. He even while he was driving it, he had the shield.
All right.
Like he was holding it with his shield hand.
I'm gonna move over here then.
Mhm.
Just while I'm like kind of squaring him off, I have my sword up to him. I'm gonna bang on the side of the carriage and say, "You gonna come fight, or are you gonna die in there like a little wuss?"
The door just opens. And you see standing before you, not Ikesh. Beyond. But the other man. The man clad in the robes. Oh, those are nice. Anyway. So, this man is clad, like I said, in very common Imperium garb. And is just going to look at you. Well, you asked for a fight, right? And he is going to just raise his hand as he's been holding his action for when someone opened this, and he is going to cast a spell.
Mm-hmm.
He just points at the ground right beneath your feet. You see
Okay.
a streak of red emerge from his finger, and a giant gout of flame erupt from beneath your feet as he casts fire.
Oh, good.
Just evaporates the entire area.
Fireball. Let me
right.
make a dex save.
He has spell sculpting, so he's going to protect himself, the captain, and Ikesh. And I believe 20 feet, if he centers it right, is enough to hit Toren as well.
I rolled nat 20 on my dex save.
Nat 20? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Toren, go ahead and make me a dex save. I rolled so bad. Oh, that one actually becomes a 2 because he is the evocation wizard. So it's actually 29 halved, which
So 14.
is 15 because we round up.
15. Right.
Take 15 points of fire damage as this fireball
Which-
erupts.
I'm resistant to, so I take 8.
Half. Yep. And then you notice now the carriage is aflame currently. But the 3 individuals that were standing here fighting, you see inside, Ikesh is fine. But the carriage is now actively on fire, and the wizard just looks up. How's that for a fight? He's gonna close the door. Just back
do I
into the
take
flaming carriage.
That
28
tickled.
or 14?
You take 15.
15? Okay.
Yeah, because we round up.
So now my garb that has mostly been covering me up, like it's just basically a toga /
Yeah, like it's a
loincloth
little
left.
charred. It's still there. But that was his turn. And he closes the door.
Didn't do much.
Yeah, just closes the door, and you still have your turn. You have an attack and everything if you'd like to use it.
The cart's on fire. If he doesn't
the cart-
teleport out, he's gonna die in there.
Yep.
Oh,
the
I've
whole
already
cart
done
is on
everything.
fire. You didn't attack or anything. You still have your attack action.
Lay on hands.
I
He-
used
Oh,
my
lay on
action
hands.
to lay
Yeah,
on
yeah.
hands.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And a bonus action. I don't really have one, I think.
Okay, so the Pink Archer
Yeah.
now. Seeing what is going on.
I mean, from everyone else's perspective, the cart just blew up.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
sees
they
the
just hear
flames
someone
engulf
on
the cart, and then the flames dissipate and sees Stanislav standing there unscathed. This archer is not aware that everyone has surrendered yet. She couldn't see the people over here. The guy on the cart is like has his hands up, but she can't really see that. So she's going to approach and fire an arrow at Stanny, who is currently actively threatening the people they were here to protect. I can't believe I rolled so shitty on that. Fucking
I mean,
fireball.
a handful of outliers is to be expected in a
Miss.
surrender.
18.
Yes.
So fires
take
2 arrows. Stanny, you just raise the shield. You don't even look. You just hear the arrows coming. Dunk, dunk. Stinks right into it. And that will be her. She's going to try to just like put some space between y'all. That archer's out. Toren, you're up.
What's the status on the captain in red there?
He's fine. The fire didn't even touch him.
So
Angry. It's very
after,
angry.
I guess after all that aftermath, I guess what I should ask first, after all that horse ramming aftermath and explosions, am I still on Ecash? Am I standing? Did I get knocked over?
You would have had to dismount to throw the spear that
Okay.
you did earlier because you're hanging over the back. So you're on the ground currently, on your 2 feet.
Okay.
With a horse in between you and him.
Yep.
I want to, I guess, walk over if I can and try to yank him from the cart.
Okay. So athletics check. I'm not gonna say at disadvantage because even though your hands are bound, you can straight up just grab the dude and pull, or even wrap your chain
Jump
around
on
the
him
back
with
of
the
his
chain,
neck
yeah.
and just yank him off.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's
Okay,
what I'm
he's
talking about.
gonna make an opposed athletics check. Oh, so he fights. He struggles, and
So close.
even though he seems like he's gonna give up a fight, you wrap the chain around the back of his neck, squeeze, and just yank and pull him down into the dirt with you. The two of you are now laying prone on the rocky ground and just kind
Good.
of like rolling around, struggling with each other.
The last thing I
Well
want to
done.
do for my turn is I want to just tighten the chains and just keys. Where are they?
He's still resisting you. He has barely taken any hits this fight. He's looking fine. He's not going to answer. You can roll an intimidation check to see, but he's going to have...
I have not done one of those, so I'm just going to give that a go.
Fuck it.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Listen. These are right here. Take them.
I'm holding a sword at his neck as well.
Well, aren't you
You're dealing with the people at the door.
True, I guess I'm kind of right up against it now.
Yeah, and now
I'm
you're
dealing
like,
with multiple things right now. Life
Yeah,
is hard.
Toren, you're just like essentially have the chain around his neck and are pressing him into the dirt. He can barely breathe. So he just points to the keys on his waist. Just let me live, please. Please.
If I can, I'd like to grab them.
Yeah, easily.
Okay. Can I unlock them this turn, or would I have to wait? Is that an action on my next turn?
I mean, combat's more or less over at this point. There's really only one person still fighting you
Yeah,
guys,
yeah.
so I'll allow it.
Yeah.
Also, we haven't found a cache.
I'd like to start unlocking myself.
Inside.
Ikesh is inside. You saw him when the door opened and the fire.
Oh, I did.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, they were both in there. Okay, good.
Yep. Yeah, so you can free your hands and your feet. I'd say fuck it. You can just take the belt off effectively and get everything. So you're now unchained, but that's your
And the
turn.
neck piece.
The collar, you do not have a key for.
Okay.
Yep. That might be something Ikesh can handle. All right, so that's your turn. This dude is dead. Ilsevere is just, at this point, going to turn around, rush back at the one archer who has not surrendered, and with 2 hands, no longer holding the reins of his horse, is just going to take the spear and just, like, stab downward as he comes up behind her. Twice, because multi-attack. That's a hit. That's a hit.
All right. No one left.
I rolled an 8 on
hasn't
that
surrendered.
die. It didn't show in the chat for some reason. Neither did that one. That's weird. Oh. I hit the wrong thing. Oops. Either way, it was a 12 and an 8, which is more than enough. So as she's kind of like got her attention fixed on Stanislav firing these arrows, Ilsevere just runs up. He says, "You leave my brother alone." He stabs once down into the clavicle, not quite deep enough to kill her, and then flips his grip around and with 2 hands just right down and kind of like impales her. And she's kind of just like stuck there on the end of his spear. He yanks it out and she collapses to the ground. So with that, I mean, there's the guy inside you still have to deal with. You don't know what he's up to. But I do believe that guy surrendered. The commander is going to go. But he's surrendered as well. So yeah, it's just essentially, I'm going to say combat is more or less over. There's 2 threats still active, but we can drop out of initiative at this point.
Yeah, at that point, Atin's just going to go, everyone, you, away from the cart. Cav, round up the people that surrender. Archers, around that carriage. If anyone twitches, turn it into a porcupine.
I like that. Yep. You just see Fias, he's like, yeah, what he said. Doesn't even hesitate, just accepts the command.
Yeah, and then
they're not coming out. It is current. The carriage is still on fire. You gather at a certain point, they are going to start taking damage. So, what would you like to do?
Atin's just
gonna come stand right behind the carriage.
Atin's gonna start coming down, and I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna start coming down. I'm not gonna say anything this time. I'm just gonna come down. It'll take me some time, but I'll make my way down till I'm next to the door, like 10 feet away from the door.
Okay.
You know, at some point, we probably should get them out of there.
I'm actually
fucking burn.
I am actually gonna yell over to one of the cav for the commander, and I'm just like that Toren's got. I'm just gonna say, get him with the rest of them, tie them to the back of, all of the people that surrendered, chain them to the back as they so gratefully did for your allies of the carriage number 2. We're gonna move out shortly.
And like, right after Stanislaus said that, it's like, as much as I want to see them both burn alive,
Oh, they're valuable.
I'd love to watch the satisfaction of them dying with my own eyes, not through a piece of smoldering wood.
I take a quick look around to make sure that the archers are actually like actively pointing.
Yep.
How long has passed since the fireball?
20 seconds.
I'm just going to say teleport, high level spell. Takes about a minute to cast. You have 20 seconds. If you're not outside, you won't get the other 20.
No response.
10. And I'm going to count out loud. And if they don't move, as the closer we get to 20 seconds, I just lift my fingers. And once I hit about 5, assuming no response, I'm just gonna be like, Stanislav, Toren, stand back. 4.
Shall I open the door first?
No need. 3, 2, 1. And optimistically, that's the cue to light the shit up for the archers.
Yeah, they all fire. It is a solid carriage, but I'm gonna have.
Sure. Well, I mean, there's windows. There, in theory, it would go right on through.
Fun fact: no windows.
Oh, okay. Well, that would change the thing, I guess. It's a dramatic display. No.
All the arrows just thunk, 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 and just fill this thing, effectively making it into a porcupine. But you doesn't seem like any arrows have made their way.
I'm gonna sauce a guiding bolt at the door.
Sure.
A 10 to hit. Does it hit a door?
Yeah.
Deal 46 points of radiant damage.
18.
Glances off the door.
Oh shit.
Fuck. All right. And I open the door after the first wave.
Yeah, it is still actively on fire, but the more you look, the more you notice it doesn't seem to be doing any substantial damage to this thing.
I haven't taken damage yet.
They're
so
charged.
I want to rip the door open.
They're cindered, and you notice all the banners on the outside of it have burned off. Any bit of luggage on top of it has burned off, but the wooden structure itself is untouched.
Okay.
Yeah, can I rip the door open?
As Atin approaches and just turns the handle and opens the door.
Oh.
You look inside, and where you expected to see a small cart with 2 benches on either side filled with people, you instead see a massive interior structure.
Some Harry Potter shit.
Some kind of living room.
I turn to
Kind of
Stanislav.
well-decorated area.
Actually, I'm like,
What do you see?
well, come with.
I'm gonna pull out. I'm gonna pull out Atin's dagger and follow him. He's going
Yeah.
in.
I'm gonna step in. Yeah, I'm just. I'm gonna step inside.
Trust me, I want to get this thing off.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we can get what we need without any extra time lost. I'm gonna step inside. I like what you've done with the place. Really spruces up what is otherwise just a regular old carriage.
There's no one
Step in
inside.
behind him.
It's empty. I look
It's
around for
empty.
any teleportation circles, anything like that.
There are several doors. This
Oh.
appears to be some kind of strange pocket dimension built into
Fuck
this
is this shit?
carriage.
I guess we're playing a guessing game.
Nope, we don't have to. I mean, yes, we're not going to be able to go after a cache, but this thing is. Do you know how valuable this is?
I'm gonna cast locate object on what did I see on the mage?
His robes, medallion, or some kind of focus about his neck. Other
Sure,
than that,
that
not
thing.
much.
I'll cast
Sure.
locate object on
It's the
that.
medallion of the Magus Imperium. You don't detect it anywhere.
Hmm.
Within 1,000 feet?
Nowhere to be
Yeah,
found.
these probably go
Shit.
everywhere throughout the Ember Step and the Magus Imperium.
Well,
Oh.
those fuckers are gone.
I mean, yes, but I plan on trapping every single one of these doors.
It's a good idea. Alright, you do that, I'm gonna go back outside.
Yeah, let's start getting ready to leave. Actually, and I'll step outside as well. And I'm assuming we can hook the carriage up and take.
Can I
it
take
with-
a quick glance, see if there's like a key or something to get this thing off my get the collar off?
You can try. Go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
Oh goodness.
I'll seeing him do that. I will take a look myself and take a glance around. And getting him out was my priority, so I'll do that.
You can roll if you'd like, or Toren roll with the advantage.
Well, my investigation is.
Awesome. So
What are you
neither
guys
of you.
looking for?
Well, don't worry about it. We'll screw with this later. It's fine. Let's go.
So none of you find a key.
I mean, we should, because with this thing on, I can't do anything. All I can do is shoot arrows.
We will
Well,
get-
my aim is true.
Tell you what.
I do like some a little bit of skill, you know.
I think we can probably get that off. We're just gonna need someone with some lock smithing skills.
I mean,
Remember I got one of those off you once back on that fucking island?
I do remember it, and it took you, me, and Baythier a couple times to get this thing
Okay.
off.
but if you take
So
a look
imagine
around-
someone with skill and proper
Yeah,
tools.
we literally have an entire like mini army here. Someone here can help you. I wouldn't worry too much about it right now. We're not in a hurry.
Do I recognize it? It's the Hushroot Tribe.
Oh yeah, immediately.
Okay.
The armor
I-
is even the fact
I-
that Stanislav is currently wearing the armor of your tribe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is a dead giveaway.
And I actually will touch the Atin's chest, and that looks good on you.
Oh no, it does not. But that's fine. I tell you what. I think we've done what we've set out to do. I would like to talk to each of the prisoners. It's possible they could be recruits, or we just kill them. Doesn't really matter. I'll be back.
It's good
I'm-
to see you again, Toren.
Yes.
You as well. I'll playfully slap Stanislav in the stomach. That also looks good on you.
It's a little bit extra special. He jingles it and it hardly makes any sound.
So you exit the carriage, expecting to find your allies waiting for you. However, you find a different scene entirely.
Oh,
Attack.
As you emerge, you see on the cliff facing you an entire swarm of Imperium archers.
oh
A veritable
No.
force, and at their head, you see standing a group of 4, clad in very similar armor to that you already know.
So is this the part where you say if we don't come out with our hands up, we get turned into a porcupine? It was really dramatic when I
And
said it.
that's where we're going to call the
Yep.
session.
Sounds good. All right. I didn't
Set
close
a
the
chat
door though.
for the Hushroot Tribe.
like sidebar, I didn't shut the door. Did
No,
the door
but-
shut on its own?
Nope, but as you went in, all the door had visual of was like the cliff that the thing was parked next to. You couldn't actively see up, and you had to go far enough in to look for keys and shit that your line of sight was taken away.
Okay, all right.
Bummer, dude.
We just got you out. Now we're back in. All right.
Far out.
Set a
Oh,
trap
Yeah.
for the trap setters. That was the plan all along. All right,
Well, this was fun. It was good to be back.
for now.
Yeah.
So-
yeah. Great to go back into slavery.
Yeah.
We will pick up there at a later date. I
Oh,
believe next week is going to be some Vampire the Masquerade.
Fucking free.
Yeah.
We're
all
going all
that-
through Wayne.
All the work,
Buckle
all the
five,
prep I did to fuck with
Louis.
all of their brains and then get people to surrender so we could maybe turn them. And all of it gone. Great.
You can't play a player.
They have their
Like-
strategies. They knew what was gonna happen here.
Well, yeah, I announced it. The
No,
point
I mean
was-
like even the Imperium forces and Ekash and everyone was aware that you would probably try to spring Toren.
fair.
And after the cavalry charge, no one tried to do any
Shifty
like active
bastards.
scouting to see if anyone was following you, if there was any other forces present in the area apart from
I-
Atin trying
Yeah,
to.
I had assumed that we had. Yeah, you're right. I didn't do any active scouting. I had assumed there were reinforcements in the area, but if we did enough damage fast enough, it wouldn't matter. We could outrun them because we had active cav.
Mhm.
But I wasn't expecting a pocket dimension.
Inside the carriage.
Yeah,
No
that
one ever expects
apparently
a pocket
just
dimension.
well, no, just a pocket dimension that randomly assigns what each door does. Like that,
Oh, it
There's
doesn't.
no-
You guys
It's
didn't
like some
open any
happy
of the
fun
doors.
bullshit.
it doesn't. It what? Sorry.
It doesn't actually like the doors don't go anywhere. It just continues into the pocket dimension. It's a house. This is a traveling house on wheels.
Yeah, but like we went back out the door we came and it went somewhere else. Like so, there's no technical way out, or at least if there is,
No, we
it's
came
not
back
the
out
door
the
you
same
came
place.
Yeah,
from.
you
It's
came out,
just-
came back out the same place.
Yeah.
The Imperium just had a force.
Oh,
They had
Don't
a
worry, we
force
didn't get-
literally.
we
wait-
didn't get matrixed.
No, yeah, they just had a
I
force
thought we-
waiting.
I understood that as we got matrix.
No, essentially what happens, you went
Okay.
in, looked around for
Yes.
like 10 minutes or so, and in that time, the Imperium forces managed to essentially
Well-
teleport en masse here, like division by division by division.
Teleport. Damn. Okay.
Well, it's like every single member,
Teleportation circles.
every single, yeah,
Yeah, but teleportation. Well, no, teleportation circle requires an act. Okay, just for context as to what this
We're just
would
powerful
have to
people
look at.
casting teleport.
Yes, powerful people casting teleport, but now you're looking at 7th level spells, which means that we're dealing with an army of like powerful casters to an extent that's
You don't
insane.
necessarily know if the casters came with the troop. just
It's,
for the sake.
it's irrelevant. It still requires a 7th level spell.
Yeah.
like-
Either way, you guys are in a bit of a sticky wicket, and I'm
Mhm.
looking forward to seeing where things go. So next week we'll be getting back into our Cowtown Sundown
Yep.
and Cowtown game with my new character
Nice.
I'm working on. I'm very excited. I want to thank everyone
Nice.
for coming by. Thank you for the new follows, everybody. Teamy new. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. And yeah, I just want to thank everyone for coming by. You're all very much appreciated. We'll see you next week with another segment of the Cross Country Compatriots. Peace out. We're going to find someone to raid out on. See ya.
Bye.